The city of Indianapolis plays host to one of the premier events in all of black college football. And for the 19th consecutive year, 2 HBCs have made their way to the great state of Indiana to participate in that celebration. And it's extensive, featuring a pep rally and a parade that goes through the heart of the city, featuring bands from both the high school and collegiate level strutting their stuff and leading the way for the many celebrities who are also a part of this weekend's festivities. It all culminates in a football game. And this weekend, the SWAC takes center stage in the Midwest as the Southern Jaguars meet the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Next on BET. Has shifted indoors to the 68,000-seat RCA Dome. It's black college football at its finest, and today, BET is in the center of it all. In a matchup that could have major postseason implications, it's the Bulldogs of Alabama A&M, 1-0 in the Eastern Division of the SWAC, taking on the Southern Jaguars, a 500 team in the SWAC West. Hello, everybody. I'm George Johnson. Well, history shows that if you lose more than one conference game, your chances of making it to the SWAC championship are slim and none, and slim plays for your team. That's sort of the situation for Southern as they come into today's contest 1-1, standing in their way a much improved Alabama A&M team under their first-year coach, Anthony Jones. With that, I bring in my broadcast partner, the former NFL quarterback Don McPherson. When you talk about A&M and Jones' ability to show some patience with this club, the one player that is indicative of that patience is their freshman quarterback, Johnny Keith.
Yeah, and Johnny Keith is a true freshman, and that's why the patience. But he's also a true quarterback. He understands his role on this team. He's a student of the game. He has a very strong arm and an accurate passer, and he's a perfect fit for Coach Jones's pro-style offense.
Now, if you're a young player and you want to play defense, Alabama A&M is not a bad decision. You see, in the past, they were known for their defense. Today, still known for their defense. One of the most feared units in the SWAC, and they have maybe the best player in the conference, and Robert Mathis.
And Robert Mathis is an explosive force coming off the corner with relentless speed and power. And you look at his numbers, those 8 sacks are the reason why his defense has stepped up their level of play and are leading in the SWAC in total defense.
Defense is a scary word to Southern. You see, the offense is having their problems. They have only scored 2 touchdowns in the last 11 quarters. They need someone to make a play, a big play. They do have that type of player in Michael Hayes.
Well, Michael Hayes is one of the best wide receivers you will see all day long in college football, and he is an explosive player. But if you look at his numbers in the last 2 games, frustration is setting in as they are having trouble getting him the football.
Well, see, the problem is, they can't find themselves a quarterback. 2 weeks ago, we did Southern. They had 2 quarterbacks on the depth chart. Both those guys injured. So now they've got to bring an inexperienced guy at the helm, and that's Curvis Sharp.
Yeah, and Curvis Sharp came out of training camp as the number 3 quarterback. He gets the start today. He's known all week that he's the starter, and his job is to get rid of the football, make quick decisions, and try to get that ball to Michael Hayes.
Well, 2 years ago, Southern, they started the season 1-4, but when 5 of their next 6 to finish the season, 6-5. They'd like to do that again, but they've got to knock off Alabama A&M today.
Today's Black College Football Game is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. And by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste, known only to the king of beers. And by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
We'll deliver the deal.
Yeah, looks like the Bulldogs are raring to go here at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Alabama A&M, as you see in that maroon and white. They'll have the maroon shirts, maroon pants, looking to go 2-2. As they come in, they're actually looking to improve their record to 3-2, 2-0 in conference play, and a win would tie them for first place with Jackson State, who is idle. Their opponents, the Jaguars of Southern. Southern really needs to get a victory here if they want to keep pace with Grambling State, who has been ripping up the charts. And so Southern really needs to get a victory despite the fact that they come in overall 1-4. Again, like I said, the bottom line is to get victories in conference play. as everybody shoots for that SWAC championship game to be played in December right here on BET.
Yeah, and you really get a sense that these are two different teams. Southern is really looking for an identity on offense. They're looking for a quarterback. They're looking to get things going, where Alabama A&M looks like they're gaining momentum. They're starting to develop on offense with their young quarterback, Johnny Keith, and that defense has been playing hard all year long.
Back deep, as you get a good look at number 80, Chris Davis, the junior from Greenburgh, Louisiana. He'll be joined by Ezra Landry, number 16. Landry has just absolutely been phenomenal on kick returns, averaging 27 yards a return. He's number 16. Not a very tall guy at 5'7", so we know he's a man after my own heart.
You better be fast.
Oh, yeah, he is. But this will be taken by Davis, scooped at the 20-yard line, gets to the outside, knocked out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Time now to take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with the crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Sims, Salisbury, Jenkins, Wells, and Green are your offensive line. Kenneth Peoples gets a start at running back, and they use 5 receivers. Hayes, Kentrell Plain, and Altravion Jobert, both very experienced receivers. If they find the guy to get it to him, well, then obviously they can make things happen offensively. Curvis Sharp, though, is your quarterback. He's the junior from Shreveport. First play of the game, they give it inside to Peoples. Peoples trying to work against that very good Alabama A&M defense. As we take a look at their starters, Hardy, Hassan, Harris, and there's Robert Mathis, the right end. Keep your eye on number 55. He will make plays. Jamal Ware, Favorius Nunn, the former fullback, is the middle linebacker. Jermaine Mobley, the outside man. Cribbs, Johnson, Holt, and Levernante Turner are your defensive backs. Second down now, make it 7. Back to pass is Sharp, and I told you Mathis was going to make a play, didn't I?
Make it number 9. Make it number 9. Robert Mathis, we talked about him coming off with so much speed. He was there before Curvis Sharp was even to set his feet. He's going to come directly from the front of the screen here. Number 55 is going to come right in the middle there. You see him, he seems like he's untouched, but that's because he makes such quick moves at the line of scrimmage. This guy is very, very quick out of his stance.
Looks like they brought the strong safety Holt, too, which created an opening for him as they tried to get him on the outside.
Yeah, and this is an attacking defense by A&M. You're going to see a lot of secondary people in the backfield.
Third down and long. Sharp now going to throw his first pass. It's complete to Joseph. Joseph gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll be it, as it'll bring a 4th down situation for Southern. Mobley made the tackle there as Colby Miller now comes in to punt, averaging 35 yards every time he punts the football. His longest this year has gone for 52 yards. Back deep for Alabama A&M is Nicholas Wells. Wells is standing at about his 30-yard line. Miller's punt pushes him back to the 28, and that's where Alabama A&M will take over 1st and 10. Now time to look at Alabama A&M's offense and our Budweiser starting lineups. Lewis, Nolan, LaCroix, Woodard, and Wilson in your offensive line. A solid one. Gideon, Rowland, Lindsey, and Wells, along with Jacob Wilson, are the guys who will try to make things happen offensively. For this young man right here, Johnny Keith, a true freshman, was in high school last year where he threw for 17,000 yards and 17 touchdowns while missing 3 games. I formation. He's going to give it to the deep back, Gideon. Gideon takes it out past the 30-yard line. So we'll take a look now at the Jaguar defense. We see Young, Coleman, Smith, and Jonathan St. Cyr, the front 4 for this club. Sheldon Pearl has earned the spot inside as the linebacker. And your defensive backs, Lenny Williams is a goodie. Herman Hartman will hit you. Make no mistake about it. A look at the Southern secondary. That was our starting lineups, brought to you by Budweiser. As it is now 2nd down. Again, the I formation, and again they give it to Gideon. This time, coming up to make the tackle is Jabari Green.
And the one thing we can expect from both of these defenses today is that they're going to put 8 men in the box and try to force the run. And Anthony Jones knows that's what he expects because they're going to try to force his young quarterback to win this game with his arm. And he has a lot of confidence in his young quarterback to get that done today.
Jones in his first season coming over from Morehouse, where yesterday we talked to him, and he says, man, I just feel blessed.
That's right, to have this opportunity. He is definitely a football man, Anthony Jones.
So is this man right here, Pete Richardson, in his 10th season at Southern. 68-19 is his record here. And on third down, looks like we have a timeout. So we'll take a timeout here on BET. Be right back. Welcome back, folks. Alabama A&M and centered around their first-year coach, Anthony Jones. And, of course, they're looking to a young freshman by the name of Johnny Keith to lead this club. And he's led them to victories the past 2 weeks. This is what his head coach thinks about it.
I think he makes everybody around him a little better. He has a tremendous amount of confidence in himself. It's not confidence, it's what a quarterback needs. He understands when he makes a mistake. He'll tell you he made a mistake. He's not afraid of that. And I just think overall he makes everyone else around him better.
And that's exactly what I was talking about, how he knows his role, and what a quarterback needs to do is deal the ball, get it into the hands of the guys around him.
You know, it was interesting. I thought it was when Coach said yesterday he's forcing these wide receivers to make plays. And that's because of his ability to get them the football. Oh, he was tripping, still got the ball off to his running back, and got a first down as Melvin Gideon gets the run stopped by Green.
You know, you talk about him getting the ball to the guys who matter, and you're going to see him trip and go down. This is an ill-advised handoff. When you're going down like this and you get the trip, hold on to it. You don't want to hand the ball off and force a fumble, but that's the good thing about a young quarterback. He's going to do some things. You're going to go, oh, no, don't do that. But sometimes they work out, and that's when you know your day is going well.
Credit Gideon, by the way, also with finding that hole and hitting it very quickly. Gideon, the senior from Huntsville, Alabama. He's the leading rusher in the SWAC. We talk about all these other guys, and you forget that Melvin Gideon has really been a solid running back, and they really have a 1-2 punch here in the running game. This time, they give it inside and get big yardage thanks to their fullback, Jonathan Rowland. Rowland giddy-ups deep in Southern territory.
You talk about a 1-2 punch with Gideon and Bonds. Well, here's Rowland. He's number 3, and then you look at the blocking by the offensive line. You see that block right there by the guard pulling and pushing it out. That opens the hole for a quick hit in the middle. Watch coming right in your direction. Number 64, there's the guard. Nice block on the linebacker, Green. Springing Rowland, giving him the room in the middle to run. This offensive line is experienced and very, very good up front.
Rowland goes for 30 yards, so it's 1st and 10 now. Bulldogs inside the 30-yard line of Southern. Going to Gideon. Gideon drops the football. And Alabama A&M, there's a couple of folks saying we still got it. Wow, big opportunity for Southern. They just could not capitalize.
You know, those are the opportunities that you really hope for. But once again, watch the blocking of this offensive line. I want to talk about how athletic these guys are. They're getting out in front and Gideon. Now, Gideon has to stay out in front. You see the block by Rowland and 72 LaCroix. These guys are out in front. See them out here? They're out in front. That's where Gideon has to go with the football. He cuts it back inside, in towards all that traffic, and that's why he gets hit and causes the fumble.
Credit Kendrick Paul, the outside linebacker for Southern, knocking that football out of his hands. 2nd down now and 10. Single setback is Davis. They get it out to Lindsey. Lindsey makes the catch, and Lindsey gets down near the 25-yard line, forced out of bounds by Lenny Williams. Neil Lindsey is a senior from Birmingham, Alabama, making just his 8th reception of the season.
You're going to look at the blocking that he gets right here. Great blocking, but look at all these guys pursuing. Southern really has the speed to pursue, but Lindsey makes a nice move to the outside. But that first block, that initial block that makes it like a run play at the line of scrimmage. That block is considered just like a run play at the line of scrimmage.
When they go to Lindsey, he usually makes big plays. He's averaging 29 yards every time he makes a catch. That one went for a couple there. But again, a complete pass. And how about this freshman quarterback standing in the pocket and finding his receivers? This time he finds Nicholas Wells for the pickup. D'Angelo Lewis on the defense.
Well, Anthony Jones talked about his young quarterback and what he expects of this kid. Don't make mistakes. Get the ball in the hands of your receivers. And the play selection has proven just that. Short passes, control passes, passes where you can see the receiver's numbers. That gives a quarterback confidence that he can drill that ball in there. And this young guy is doing a nice job right now finding his guys quick and getting rid of the football.
Now here we are in a situation where it is 4th down, and we'll say it's 2. And it looks like head coach Anthony Jones is going to go for it, although we have yet another timeout with 8:47 left here in the first quarter. Still scoreless, but Alabama A&M knocking on the door. Welcome back to Indianapolis. 4th down situation for Alabama A&M deep in Southern territory. They elect to go for it. And Keith, little option, Gideon. Oh, he goes up and over, drops the football, but the official's going to say that he is down, contact on the ground. Southern picked up the football, going the other way. But they're going to say Gideon was down, and they're going to say that he also has a first down. Well,
that's a good call. The ground can't cause a fumble. Gideon, a dangerous move by leaping up in the air like that, but also a brave call by Alabama A&M and Anthony Jones. I think when you want to send a message to your team that you're going for it, it's a brave call with the option pitch. A nice block there by the fullback Wallace, and the ground can't cause a fumble. That's a good call by the official.
So Gideon gets the first down, ball inside the 20-yard line, marking it at the 17. 2 receivers split to the right for Keith. Keith has done a real nice job here, not forcing anything. Completed a couple of passes, going to try to do it again. Oh, this one was almost picked off. Herman Hartman had a bead on it, just could not hold on to it.
Got a penalty flag down. It might be a hold against A&M. And you talk about a guy who's supposed to, at that time, Wells figured take a little shot on Hartman, the strong safety, in case he was going to make that interception. But Hartman, nice job of they call that buzzing out underneath the route. He sees the play progressing, and he buzzed out underneath the route and was able to break that up and almost took it the other way.
They're holding on the offense, 2-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
2 things happened on that play that led to the hold and also the almost interception, and that is that Keith held on to the ball just a little bit too long, and the offensive linemen think it's a quick pass, so they're not going to hold on too long. When they see the quarterback still has the ball, then they start to grab. That's the holding, and then the other late pass led to the almost interception.
Going to be interesting how he handles this down. First down in 20. The drive was going so well for Alabama A&M. Now they're going to jump off the screen pass, and it is wide open. Down the sidelines goes Bonds, and Bonds takes it inside the 10-yard line. Jeremiah Bonds with the reception, his 2nd reception of the season, and it's a big one.
Well, you talk about the savvy of a quarterback. Watch him give all of his tension over here. He gets the linebackers moving, and then he comes and drops off the screen. His eyes kept those linebackers and everyone focused to the other side of the field and set up the block for the guys downfield. You see the linebackers, you see everybody shifting to the left. That gets the linemen out there on the perimeter and gives them the leverage and the position on the defense.
Randy Williams came in there just kind of lunging at him as opposed to trying to wrap him up, and allowed him to pick up the couple extra yards to get the first down.
Exactly. And you're seeing this young quarterback and the savvy of the quarterback, his quarterback skills with his eyes and with his decision-making.
Full house backfield, and this time it's going to be Keith in the flat. Touchdown! Alabama A&M. On the receiving end, the fullback, Jonathan Rowland, and why not? He had the big 30-yard run to set him up, and now he makes the short little touchdown catch. Fine job by the freshman quarterback, Johnny Keith, and his head coach, Anthony Jones, has got to be pleased with the poise he showed on this drive.
Yeah, he made, again, all the right decisions and didn't try to do too much during that drive. Let his team take him down the field.
Kyler attempts the point after, and the kick is no good. Once again, it was Johnny Keith looking for his fullback, Jonathan Rowland, off the play action.
I love play action fake, first down inside the 10-yard line when you have that first and goal situation. And this time, Keith, with a nice touch on the football, puts his team in the end zone.
Another Southwest Airlines presentation of black college football here on BET, and Alabama A&M strikes first with a nice drive that went 72 yards, and we saw a little bit of everything.
Check him out. There's Johnny Cochran walking the sidelines, working the crowd.
You know he's got that new book out, see? He's got that new book.
He's always got a deal going.
But, it's interesting. Johnny has also brought up, he wants the National Football League to do something about the lack of black coaches that have been hired over the years. Your thoughts about that?
Well, it's important for guys like Johnny Cochran, who's so recognizable, and he's such a powerful force and such a positive force, to take on these issues that sometimes people really don't think are that important. But Johnny Cochran has proven that it's on the minds of a lot of people, and he's out there. I think we need more leaders like Johnny Cochran who are going to take on the establishment and take on some social change.
Well, the National Football League says that they have increased their black coaches and show numbers to prove that. But then again, we see a lot of guys that don't get jobs. But we take you back to this football game where Southern receiving the kick. That's Davis taking it out past the 35-yard line, where Southern will take over 1st and 10.
And George, I tell you, I love that play action pass inside the 5-yard line when you get that first down inside the 5-yard line, and that's exactly what Alabama A&M did on that last touchdown play by Keith. And you talk about the development of Keith, and Anthony Jones played with a quarterback who knows how to play quarterback in Doug Williams with the Washington Redskins. So he's done a nice job of bringing this young quarterback along.
And was on the end of a couple of passes as he played tight end with the Redskins and won a Super Bowl with them. So here's Curtis Sharp, his first pass of the drive, and it's incomplete. Last time they were on the field, it was 3 and out for Southern. And one wonders, with this very good Alabama A&M defense, how you attack them with an inexperienced quarterback.
Well, you have to, as I said earlier, is get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. One of the things about this Southern offense that you see right now is they don't huddle up. So that's not going to give him time to settle down. So they really have to do it with their play selection.
Would you huddle a little bit more with this young guy?
I would.
Here's Sharp going to hold on to the football, doing a pretty good job of eluding Robert Mathis and Mr. Jamal Ware, who are probably their 2 best tacklers, and picking up a couple of yards on that run. He's still shy of a first down.
They had a package set for Curtis Sharp in preseason, and it didn't involve throwing the football down the field. And right now, Pete Richardson and this offensive unit has got to get the ball into the hands of their playmaker, Hayes.
There's an opportunity for him on 3rd down, make it 3. Sharp taking his time and delivers the pass. It is complete to Lionel Joseph. Joseph brought down by a host of secondary men. Reginald Johnson leading the way. To talk about Curtis Sharp, Pete Richardson, his thoughts.
He's sound. He's ready to go. Our problem offensively is he's been open, but then we have been inconsistent on with the quarterback situation on getting him the ball, so he's kind of frustrated. But we have other wide receivers playing. I think caught 9 passes last game because of that aspect. We can't force the ball to him when they're double covering him, but we got to be in the situation that when we catch him one-on-one, we got to be able to capitalize.
That's actually Pete Richardson talking about his wide receiver, Michael Hayes, and right there they tried to go deep to him.
Well, you heard him say that Curtis Sharp can't force the ball, and that time it was very obvious. Sharp got the ball in the shotgun and threw the ball right away. Hayes was not double covered, but he wasn't open, and so he's just predetermining and throwing the ball too soon.
Southern in Alabama A&M territory at the 47-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Fake the handoff. Sharp holds on to it. Finally brought down by Reginald Johnson after he picks up close to 5 yards on the run.
And that's part of that package that I talked about before, that they had planned in preseason to bring in Sharp and give him, they call it the Sharp attack, bring him in to as a change of pace to the other quarterbacks, where he's going to take the ball as shotgun, run the ball. He's a little bit more athletic, and now they have to keep building things on top of that package so that he can start to spread the ball around.
3rd down and 4 after a 6-yard pickup for Sharp. A&M over the middle, finds his receiver, pass is complete to Kentrell Plain. Plain brought down by the linebacker, Jermaine Mobley, but not before he picked up a first down.
And again, we saw this with Johnny Keith for A&M. We're going to see this right now. Plain's just going to come across underneath the coverage. When he comes across, show him the numbers, show the quarterback his numbers. For the quarterback, again, lots of confidence when you can see a guy's number to plant your feet and drill the football in there. Those are the passes that they are going to have to run with Curva Sharp to give him some confidence.
So here we go now, I formation. As they fake the handoff inside, run a little option play, and Peoples trying to get to the outside, and Thad Cribbs introduced himself to him.
And Curva Sharp is going to have to learn that he's going to have to bring that option play all the way to his pitch man. Here's his option man right here. He doesn't even bring it to him, and that allows the defense to just keep on taking it and stretching it out. He's got to bring that ball all the way out to his option key before he gets rid of it.
Peoples picked up close to 3 yards on the play, makes it now 2nd down and 7. Again, I formation behind Sharp. This is the Peoples. Peoples makes a nice move, gets inside the 20-yard line down to the 19. Going to be shy of a first down as Trevorius Nunn made the tackle.
Well, I think one thing that you're seeing now is a mix-up of play selection here now by Southern, and that's important. You have to get the hands in guys like Kenneth Peoples, who's an outstanding back, and get things done for them, but they have to make those decisions quick. The other problem that we haven't really talked about is the injury situation for Southern, especially on the offensive line. That's why you're seeing some option. That's why you're seeing some QB draw out of the shotgun. That takes pressure off of that offensive line.
3rd down now in 3. Looks like a blitz for A&M. Peoples gets the call again. And it looks like he picked up yet another first down. Got to be impressed with Southern's answer to Alabama A&M. They have worked the ball downfield and find themselves in scoring position.
Yeah, as I said, they've been going with the quick hitter with Peoples up the middle. Again, when you're struggling, especially on the offensive line, you want to get rid of the ball quick in the pass game, and you want to stretch it out a little bit with the option and out of the shotgun going with QB draw.
How much has this no-huddle offense confused A&M, you think?
Well, I think right now they're handling it pretty well, but the key is how much can Southern's offense settle in, especially when you're playing with a lot of young players.
And Curva Sharp was at the line of scrimmage and was a little, mixed up on terms of what Pete Richardson wanted to do. So he called a timeout. 10th play of the drive. We'll see what they do when we get back. Welcome back. Circle City Classic, the 19th annual Circle City Classic. George Johnson along with Don McPherson as Alabama A&M leads this one 6-0. Southern is answered. Currently on their 10th play of this drive, looking for some points, and the lob pass into the end zone. Touchdown, Michael Hayes. He did a pretty good job pushing off on the defensive back, but he scores the touchdown.
Yeah, he did a nice job of pushing off for that 6 points.
That's a big play situation, I guess. We talked about that at the top. They need someone to make a big play, and he did right there.
Absolutely.
For Hayes, his 4th touchdown reception of the season, as Colby Miller comes in and looking to give Southern the lead, and he does. But that point after, now you got to start saying to yourself, boy, that missed point after for Alabama A&M, you hope it doesn't haunt them down the road.
Absolutely, and what a boost for this young quarterback. Make a decision quick, get rid of the football, and then you're going to see right at the end a little bit of a push-up. You don't even see it on this angle. Thank goodness for Michael Hayes. That's 6 points for the big man. But this guy is so talented. He has the ups to go up for the football. He has the speed and the power to get down the field and make guys miss.
What a drive. They answer with a 10-play drive of their own. They went 64 yards in that one. And it culminates in that 15-yard touchdown pass from Sharp to Hayes. And thanks to the point after, they now have the lead.
And, both coaches talked about putting 8 men in the box and forcing the quarterbacks on both sides to beat you with the arm. And so far, these young quarterbacks have done a decent job of throwing the football, making quick decisions.
Sharp, a junior, who had completed 56% of his passes coming in. Not too bad on that drive. They mixed it up with the run. They got it to Peoples. He threw a couple of short passes. He kept it. And they told us before, watch for Curtis Sharp. He's an athlete who plays quarterback.
Right.
And he showed it on that drive.
Yes, he did. He showed it, as I said, in the quarterback draws out of the shotgun. He showed it in the option play. And he also showed, I think, a nice touch on the football a few times when he threw the ball down the field. And he's definitely going to continue to get better. A drive like that does wonders for a quarterback, especially this early in the game.
So Nicholas Wells back deep to receive the kickoff for Alabama A&M as they trail on this one. Although this one's going to go to Gideon. Gideon's going to get close to the 30-yard line. This club takes over 1st and 10. We talked about the fact that as Gabriel LaFrance makes the play, we talked about the fact that the starting running backs return kickoffs for Alabama A&M, and people were saying, by the third quarter, they'll be dead tired. So here comes young Johnny Keith, who on that last drive was 4 for 4 for 35 yards. Also had the touchdown pass, but we saw a little bit of everything on their last drive. We saw the big run by the fullback. We saw an option on 4th down, a little screen pass that got them big yards. They did a little bit of everything. So here they are, 1st and 10, as they give it to Gideon, and he trips on that turf. You played your whole career on the turf up in Syracuse. If you don't play on the turf a whole lot, is that very tough? Because we saw Gideon go up, drop the ball when he fell. Is it a harder surface? Is it a tougher surface to gauge?
Well, what's interesting about this surface, you get used to it because you play on it enough. But two things about being on this surface. Number one, in a dome, you have lights that are above the field and not just off to the side of the field. So the position of the lights, and the other thing about the dome is you have a flat surface. Outdoor turf fields are crowned. There's no crown in a dome.
Don't got to worry about that rain, huh?
That's right.
Shotgun formation now for Johnny Keith. Rolls to his right, throws downfield, and overthrows his receiver. Pass was intended for Durrell Weekly. And a little bit too much on it.
Johnny Keith backed up about 30 yards after he threw that football. He knew he had his guy down the field. They did a nice little roll to one side of the field. He brought all the coverage with him. If you'll see guys coming with him. He's got Gideon out in front of him. He knows he has protection, and then he lets his ball fly, and then you'll watch. He knows that he had a shot. That's why he gets his head back up and backs up all the way to the goal line, because that ball he threw a good distance down the field. This kid is a competitor. You can see it in his eyes. He has a poise in his eyes that shows that he's very in control in this ball game.
3rd down and 11 for Keith. Good protection. Throws downfield. Pass intercepted by Lenny Williams. Williams makes his 3rd interception of the season.
And that's one of those freshman mistakes that Johnny Keith is going to have to make. It's an excellent play by Lenny Williams, but that ball was a long ball for him to throw. It's a long ball. It's got to be on the line. It's a skinny post. It has to be on the line. And when he doesn't fire it out there, actually he threw it as a skinny post, and he's got to get it out here. He's got to throw it deep out here for his guy. He throws it short, and that allows Lenny to come over the top and make the play.
You can tell that he's a freshman because if he had been around for a while, he'd know you do not challenge Lenny Williams, who has really been a solid performer for Southern for the past couple of years. Last year, a 2nd-team All-SWAC selection. And he makes the interception, giving his team the football close to midfield. 1st and 10 for Sharp. Sharp's pass, batted down.
I believe that was Hardy, number 45. He got his hands in the air. Again, you're talking about the timing. The timing is not only for receiver and quarterback, but it's also for the offensive line. And they're expecting that ball to be off at a particular time. And when that ball's not off, they kind of loosen up a little bit in their blocking, and that allows defensive linemen to get their hands in the air and bat the ball down.
Again, the pressure coming from, like you said, Hardy, and also DeAndre Washington was in there, big number 75. Makes it now 2nd down and 10. 2 receivers split to the right, 2 to the left. And you got a young quarterback like that, they spend a lot of time looking over at that sideline, Don. Trying to make sure they do the right thing. Again, going to try the option. Pitch to Peoples.
And you're seeing what Southern is trying to do to mix things up with their offense. And also remember, they're playing against one of the best defenses in the SWAC, so they have to be, kind of ingenious and creative in the things that they're trying to do. That time they spread everybody out, and from the shotgun ran the option. That's a very difficult play to run because your quarterback really has to come what they call downhill right away and put pressure on the defense.
But they did pick up about 4 yards on the play. Third down situation. Sharp. Again, pretty good protection. This ball was intended again for playing too short. But I mean, how about this offensive line? They're doing a pretty good job of giving him some protection and some time to throw the football.
They really are. And that's also that protection is coming from the play selection. It's coming from the draws and the options and the screens. It's coming from those plays that slow down the rush of the defensive line.
Colby Miller back to punt the football. First time he punted the football, went 35 yards. Back deep to receive for Alabama A&M. Nicholas Wells. Wells trying to get to the outside and drag down. Good coverage as they get him at the 11, and a flag comes in late.
Hey, Neil, get over here. I want Heavy King. Heavy King. Heavy King. I want Heavy King. Okay? Get some out of this one. All right. Okay, I want to go.
Illegal block in the back on the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Let's go. King, Heavy King is in the huddle.
Heavy King would be personnel. Wants the right kind of personnel in. Remember, this is an offense that was the wishbone a year ago and for 2 years. And so now he's gone to something a little bit different where he's changing personnel. And that's a thing that they're not used to at A&M now. Heavy King, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, 1 wide receiver.
One of the disadvantages of taking over a program, you're trying to run your offense with guys who are recruited to run a different type of offense. As they give it to the deep back, that was Jeremiah Bonds, who had the big-time play off the screen.
Yeah, and when his team got pushed back with that penalty back inside the 10-yard line, he went to Heavy King, protect the football, bring in 2 tight ends, and then use your run game to get yourself out of the hole before you bring in different personnel.
Bonds picks up about 6 yards on the play, so that'll make it second down in 4. Solid offensive line in front of this young man. Talk, Croy and Nolan and Woodard on the interior, and Ronald Wilson and Lewis on the outside. And they continue to push forward in another substantial game running-wise for Alabama A&M.
And George, you talked about what they've done, and you go to different personnel. It might be different for the wide receivers and the running backs, but for that offensive line, they're used to pushing people off the ball in the option play and getting a body on a body, a hat on a hat. So they're used to doing that, and that's why they're so good when they get a chance to fire off the ball.
The one thing that Jones inherited that he said, this is not too bad. I got a nice little offensive line to do some things. It's Clubdo Trails, 7-6. We'll have more after this.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the Big New Yorker. Thin and crispy, pan, stuffed crust pizza, and more.
Welcome back. The sights of the Circle City Classic here in Indianapolis as we start second quarter action. Alabama A&M with the football, giving it inside to Bonds, who takes it out near the 20-yard line. Time now for our first quarter stats, brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the Big New Yorker. Thin and crispy, pan, stuffed crust pizza, and more. Equal first downs, passing yards, somewhat equal. Alabama A&M known more for running the football with more passing yards, but they also have 2 penalties. Your thoughts on those numbers, Don?
Well, I think it's indicative of the first half. You saw 2 nice long drives by both teams with scores, and the 4 first downs for each team shows that both teams are being very consistent so far with their offenses.
I formation behind Johnny Keith on first down. Play action, plenty of time all day long to throw the football downfield. Pass is complete to Nicholas Wells. Brought down by Randy Williams, but not before he gets inside Southern territory, down to the 34.
Sorry, George, we talked about that personnel grouping. Look at all those guys in front of Johnny Keith. He's got plenty of time to throw the football and only one guy to get it to, so he takes his time and allows Wells to clearly cross the entire defense. Wells goes from the right side of the field. He gets a DB falling down, runs past another one, and over the behind another one. He's the only man in the pattern, and so Keith just had to wait for him to clear through 3 different defenders.
Big time play there, good for 37 yards. And how about the ball he threw? It was a real nice looking ball. A little offsides as the offensive line jumps quickly. A dangerous hit there as the running back had stopped.
Yeah, you had some guys stop and some guys are still going, and Paul coming up the corner, the linebacker just kept on coming.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Becomes like a prize fight out there. You got to protect yourselves at all times. Don't stop when the whistle stops.
You look at this young man, Johnny Keith, and head coach Anthony Jones told us, he said, listen, I wanted to bring this guy along very slowly, and it probably cost us a couple of football games.
Right.
But when I asked him, I said, hey, did you know all along this was going to be your quarterback? And he had this look in his face like, yeah, I knew all along he would be my man.
Well, he wanted to change the offense, and he knew he had to go to high school to find a guy who can pull the trigger for him.
And he has found him, Johnny Keith, on 1st and 15 after the offsides. Rolls, throws on the run, and a big-time interception right there by Randy Williams. So that's what you get when you get a young quarterback. You get big plays, and then you get mistakes.
Well, you get the mistakes, and Johnny Keith has to know right now that he either has to throw this football away or make a decision to run with it. Well, George, you scratch your head and you wonder what the young quarterback was looking at when it looks like he's got a guy blocking for him right there. He should take the ball and run. Now he's got another guy down the field also blocking. But something happens in the head of a young quarterback that I have the ball in my hand, I'm supposed to throw it. No one's in my face, so throw the football, and that's called forcing it. And he'll learn as he gets older that he could have thrown that ball away a long time ago, live to play another day.
Throw it out of bounds, do something. 1st and 15, you're thinking, I got to make the play. I'm a little bit more panicked at 1st and 15, maybe. But Southern gets the football, 1st and 10. Ball shy of the 30-yard line by a yard, and again from shotgun formation, they hand it off inside as they give it to their tailback, Peoples. Peoples picks up probably about 3 yards on the play. That'll make it 2nd down and 7 as you get a good look at the sophomore from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The leading rusher on this team, averaging close to 5 yards per carry. I formation now. 2 receivers split to the right for Sharp. Again, the option to Peoples. This time, Johnson does a good job of smelling out the play, coming up and making the stop for a loss.
Well, A&M is definitely challenging Southern to beat them in the pass game, and that time Johnson was cheating over towards more of the middle of the field and was able to out-leverage the option play, and you have to account for these secondary people in the option, and that means you have to spread the ball out and spread the football around. They did that in their first couple of drives, and now A&M is starting to get a little bit of a bead on them offensively.
Sharp now, shotgun formation on 3rd down and 9. He's got 2 receivers split to each side. Feeling the heat a little bit, starting to get happy feet. And he eludes a couple of defenders, but finally dragged down as he gets close to the line of scrimmage.
One thing that happens with a young quarterback, we just saw one who was insistent on throwing the football down the field. Now you see one who focuses solely on the pass rush. Watch his eyes. Once he brings his eyes down, now he's just looking for a way to get escape. Instead of throwing the football away, he was surrounded on every single side. It's time to give it up. Give up the ship when you're surrounded on all sides.
Especially with Robert Mathis lurking on the outside. He came in and made the tackle, and that forces a 4th down situation for the Jags.
Nice coverage.
So Wells, with the return, maybe lost a yard on that play. Big-time play by Leonard Sparks.
Deliver the deal.
Welcome back. Alabama A&M trailing in this Circle City Classic by 7-6, but they have the football at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for their young freshman quarterback, Johnny Keith, who has at times shown flashes of brilliance and then shown signs of being a freshman. Threw an interception last possession, but has it 1st and 10. This time gives it inside to his fullback, Antonio Wallace, and Wallace runs into a wall.
We talked about the Southern offensive line dealing with some injuries. The Southern defense also has been dealing with injuries, and they've lost a couple of key guys on this defense. And I have to say, despite that, they've played fairly well in this first quarter, the first half already, stopping the run of A&M, which we knew came in with a pretty high-powered running attack.
You talk about the guys they've lost. Terrence Arnold, he was all SWAC. He's a cornerback. Cody Smith can play corner and safety. He's gone. Their middle linebacker, Chris Cooper, the top tackler on this football team, as we have a timeout on the field. But Chris Cooper, the top tackler on the team, he has, an injury as well. We saw him a couple of weeks ago against Jackson State. That's where he picked up the injury. But when you have all these guys gone from your defense, I mean, how do you regroup?
Well, you just have to simplify things, and Pete Richardson, he's an experienced coach. He knows how to deal with it. You simplify things both offensively and defensively. You simplify things for your players, put them in position, not necessarily using a lot of stunts or dogs or blitzes, but put them in position and allow the guys just to pin their ears back and play hard and not have to think very much. The last thing you want football players doing is thinking. So when you have young guys in there, you just have to keep it simple. And there you see 10 of 22 guys on opening day starters are playing right now. And on the offensive line is where it's most hit. Jenkins starting at center, he's a guard. And Green starting at right tackle, he's a guard. So you have guys even on the offensive line who are playing out of position because of the injury situation. As I said, despite that, they have played well all day.
But you can still tell by the numbers, because defensively, with all those guys out, they're allowing 410 yards per game. That's the worst mark in the SWAC. I mean, they're giving up 192 yards every game in the air and over 200 yards every game on the ground.
Which is, again, why this game is so important, because as the season progresses, they'll get some of those guys back.
So on 2nd down and 10, Keith in the shotgun, gonna roll left and then go back to the other side where they set up themselves up a screen. And Neil Lindsay got a whole lot of real estate in front of him. A flag has been thrown as he carries the ball down to the 26-yard line of Southern, but you got this feeling they're going to bring it back because of an illegal block.
Sometimes I try to be neutral, offense and defense. Everyone's fair in this game, but the offense, when it gets an opportunity that they just had, they blew a huge opportunity on that play, and now you have a penalty on top of a huge loss.
And you have 2 flags down. You have one over near the line of scrimmage, and then one deep down in A&M's territory that was thrown at the 29-yard line.
And that's probably a benefit for A&M, because that first one right there, the holding, is an illegal block by A&M, a block in the back. That makes the second foul.
Yeah, null and void.
Exactly.
And yet, if you were to ask head coach Anthony Jones which one did he want, does he feel better because the other one took the other one away, he'll say, no, I still go back 10 yards.
I talked about Anthony Jones being a football guy. You show him right now, you see how poised he is.
Illegal block in the back on the offense, 10-yard penalty, the previous spot. 2nd down.
Number 78, right in the middle of the screen. Now, he knows right now, don't touch the guy. Leave it. He barely touches him, but it doesn't matter. All you have to do is make contact. It was a very easy call for the official to make. Now, the problem with that was there were 4 guys over there to block one, and that was and Woodard right there in the middle of the screen. He's the guy that makes the block. He should just let him go and turned upfield and got another guy.
See, Jonathan Woodard's going to tell you, he says, listen, man, I'm a converted defensive lineman.
That's right.
I'm a converted defensive lineman. What are you talking about?
I hit it.
But, boy, they move back close to the 30-yard line where it's 2nd down now and 20. Keith, again, gunning it over the middle. Dangerous pass over the middle. Well defensed. It was intended for Weekly.
Keith has to bring that ball down, and Weekly's got a nice job of coming across the coverage hard, and that ball just sails on Keith, and he's got to bring that ball down, especially in the middle of the football field. You want to throw that ball numbers to the belt. Keep it low so that it doesn't deflect up in the air. this is a great game for this young quarterback. There have been situations that he will learn, and both of these quarterbacks will learn, and young guys like that right there should be watching. Make sure they don't make those mistakes, because you're seeing a lot of situations and a lot of learning experiences in these ball games.
Now it's third down. Big time yards to go. Both Gideon and Wallace in the backfield. And Keith, good time again to throw downfield. Pass was intended for Weekly, again overthrown. And so now it'll be fourth down.
And that time was really not a benefit for Keith, because he held on to the ball and the receivers took their routes a little bit deeper than they needed to go. One thing that sometimes happens with receivers and quarterbacks is you see a 4th and 20 situation and you think you have to get 20. Remember when they had a 1st and 15? He's like, what are they going to do? What did he do? He threw a screen in the backfield and got it down to the 2-yard line. That's what they have to do. Be patient and don't think that you have to get the whole thing with every play.
Well, they had the screen pass to Lindsey.
That's right.
And they had big yardage as first punt for Kyler. And a flag has been thrown. As Ezra Landry was your deep man. They're going to down the football at about the 30-yard line as it continues to roll for Alabama A&M. But we do have a flag that was thrown back at the 23. Officials discussing.
Well, thrown very quickly. I'm going to guess it's going to be some sort of hold against A&M.
Wow. And I would assume that's going to, even though they don't go 20 yards for the first, it's an automatic first down. And Pete Richardson says, please give me some kind of explanation, because they'll get 15 yards on it. They had to go 20, but it's an automatic first down.
Exactly.
Against the defense, 15-yard penalty in the previous spot, and first down.
Pete Richardson thought that his club had done a good job defensively and pinned A&M deep in their territory, forcing them to punt, but the penalty gives the Bulldogs the ball back. And welcome back to the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. It's the 19th annual Circle City Classic as this place starts to fill up. See, they don't come in early. See, they outside, hanging outside.
It was a party outside.
It was a party outside. So they usually start wandering in about the second quarter, which is where we are right now. Alabama A&M with new life after a penalty on fourth down. And this time off the option, the pitch goes back to the deep back, Jeremiah Bonds, and he picks up big yards.
And this is what I talk about, a quarterback taking it all the way to your option key. Watch Keith take a shot here. This is what a quarterback is supposed to take a shot on the option. And then you get it into the hands of your guy Bonds. He's got nobody out there because Keith took care of him in the option play. And then he does so much on his own. And these backs, Bonds and Gideon, are two exciting backs.
And another personal foul on Southern as D'Angelo Lewis made the tackle with no helmet. You have a player who's shaking up on the field and trying to get a good look at him. He looks like he's an offensive lineman. Looks like it's Robertville Lewis.
Yeah, and I think Lewis took a shot late from a defensive lineman. And I'm not sure what the shot was, but as I look back off after the option play, when that flag went up in the air, Lewis was just going down to the ground. So I think he took some sort of shot late from a defensive lineman.
And they really like Lewis in the SWAC. I mean, he was a preseason all-SWAC selection.
Yeah, this kid is a tremendous offensive tackle, and he's the reason, again, these guys played in the option attack. Now they get to pin their ears back, and he's been playing so well all year long.
I want to ask the guys in the truck, can we see that picture one more time? Did you see the fronts? Did you see the fronts on Lewis? See his fronts? He got that goal. He got that goal look. He's got the fronts.
Maybe that's why he took a knees and y'all messing with my stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Plus he's got that natural look, got the naughty dreads up top.
Right.
I wonder how that feels with a helmet on.
I couldn't tell you. I had a fro, man. My hair used to come out the ear hole. That's how big my fro was.
You didn't have that dread look back then. Could you wear that in Syracuse?
No, the dread look or the fro?
Well, you know how cold it gets up there.
Yeah, man. My fro used to come out the back of the helmet like this.
Oh, just hanging out the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Haven Moses style. Remember Haven Moses?
Oh, absolutely.
The Denver Broncos?
Yeah, that kind of style. Big.
Then when you took it off,
Funkadelic.
they had to make sure. Did you have a pick on the sideline just to make sure?
I had a pick. And
if you threw for 300 yards, you had to look right when they came to interview.
I had a pick, and I had holes in all my slacks because the pick.
Is that what
you remember those
with
days?
With the fit.
There you go with the Black Power.
Yeah, I remember those days a long time ago for me. As you know,
I'm gonna get you one of them.
I've been using
I'm gonna get you one of them Afro wigs.
I've been using that double edge for a while now. You know what I'm saying? First and 10 for Alabama A&M. They're at the 40-yard line, I formation. As they give it inside, that one is going nowhere. Jonathan St. Cyr was there defensively, as was Kendrick Paul, the linebacker. Clock continues to roll, 8:42 in counting. Here in the first half, as Southern leads by the score of 7-6. Greg Coleman, the senior from Zachary, Louisiana, is slow getting up.
Again, both of these defenses have been playing fairly well, and Coleman's one of those guys you just don't want to lose on this defensive front. They just can't afford another injury.
Time now for today's trivia question, brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Here's the question. What former Alabama A&M star was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2002? That's this year. Guess. And welcome back. Here's another look at our Chevy Trucks trivia question. What former Alabama A&M star was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2002? That being this year. You know the answer before we go to it?
I know the answer.
You do know the answer.
He was one of my favorite ball players.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Here's your answer. John Stallworth, who went to A&M from 1970 to 1973, was a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers from 74 to 87, part of that team that won 5 Super Bowls and teamed with Len Swan to form an unbelievable wide receiver combination.
And John Stallworth, to me, was one of the original, those big wide receivers who had big power and speed. And Swanee got so much attention on that team, but John Stallworth made some sweet over-the-head catches, and when he got the ball on the sideline, he was gone. And I'm really happy to see him get inducted.
Today's trivia question has been brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. You wonder if Swan didn't get more credit because of the fact that he went to a USC,
no question
as opposed to a John Stallworth who went to an Alabama A&M.
No question about it. Everyone knew who Swanee was coming out.
Watch out. So here comes Alabama A&M, and again keeping it on the ground. And Jeremiah Bonds with the carry picks up first down yards. You've got to be impressed with that 1-2 punch of Gideon and Bonds that Alabama A&M has at the running game.
Yeah, and Barnes has good speed. He's the explosive guy, has the nice speed to get outside, and you see a couple good blocks on the inside, but then he has the speed to outrun the pursuit. Gets a nice block there on the corner by his wide receiver, but he has that speed to get outside. Nice block right there by his wide receiver. And that's what you want. That's exactly what Anthony Jones said. He wanted receivers in this package who can make plays down the field, and that's what he talks about, making plays in the run game as well.
Darrell Weekley is the guy who made that block you're talking about as Bonds tries to get to the outside, and this time nothing doing. Again, Lenny Williams, who has done a great job covering and coming up and forcing tackles.
Yeah, Lenny Williams is definitely one of those guys who has really stepped up his game because of all the injuries in the secondary, and that time making a nice open field tackle.
And look at those, the leading tacklers, the top 3 tacklers for this football team play in the secondary. What's that say?
Well, that says that your defensive front is not getting the job done, and that's the problem for Southern all year long, and that's why they're 1-4, is that defensive front has not been getting the job done, and those secondary guys have had to come up, and you think when they're the leading tackles, they're saving a lot of touchdowns.
They've picked up a couple of interceptions in this one. They came into today's contest with just 3 to the whole secondary. They really have pressured Alabama A&M, and looks like a little alligator arms right there on Neil Lindsay. He didn't want to stretch out for that one.
And Keith is going, was that me? Was that me? Was that you? But you're going to see Lindsay. He's right here in the slot. He's got to turn his head right away with the blitz coming and come inside. He knew the blitz was coming, so he didn't want to come inside. He knew that there was pressure coming when this guy left. And he said, listen, I'm going to stay out here. Throw it out here where I am.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But see, he knew Herman Hartman was coming his way, see. And Hartman's one of the hardest hitters in all the SWAC. He will let you know that he's in the area. down to 9. 4 receivers. Delayed handoff inside the Bond. Bond picks his way down close to the 23-yard line, but he'll still be short of a first down. And now you wonder, what are they thinking? Are we thinking field goal? Are we thinking, go for it? Because you're deep in Southern territory.
Well, the way that Southern has been playing offensively, you have to go for the field goal. Try to get to 3 points. Don't allow them to go into another one of their long drives and eat up the rest of the half.
Rashard Kyler will come in. He's 1 for 4 on the season. This one is a 40-yard attempt. He's hit 1 from 28 this season. Kick has plenty of distance. It's up, and it's no good. So Kyler now, who missed a point after earlier, misses the 40-yard attempt, and his club still trails 7-6 with 6:53 left here in the first half.
And he definitely had enough leg to get this through. You have to wonder what's going on in his mind right now, because he definitely had the leg to get it through, and it looks like he didn't follow through with his kick. He kind of shortened his stroke on that, which probably led to, and his head came up and now he's asking for a penalty. But
yeah, well, see, Kevin Moffitt was close. See,
right.
Moffitt got to him, and that was a dangerous situation because it looked like he threw him off, and there was contact.
Right. Well, you know what? He sees Moffitt coming at him. That's why he doesn't follow through on the kick. Listen, it's just like a receiver. You're going to get hit anyway. Take care of your business first before you start worrying about getting hit.
He should have fell. We got a new quarterback in the game right now for Southern. As Thomas Ricks, the redshirt sophomore, replaced Louisiana, comes in, and his first pass incomplete. It was intended for Travion Jobert.
And you wonder why he makes the switch, because Pete Richardson with the new quarterback, but they really weren't getting things done. There were a couple of opportunities, and that's what Pete Richardson talked about. We haven't been capitalizing on the opportunities to get the ball to our receivers.
Second down now for Ricks. Again in the shotgun. The hired gun, you could call him. This pass is complete to his wide out, Alfred Aird, and he comes backwards and still got the first down, but you don't want your receiver catching it come back the other way.
Well, Ricks throws this ball on time. He has a seam, he has a hole, he plants his foot and releases it. That's why he's able to get the ball to Ard on time, because he plants his foot. He's not waiting around, looking around for other guys, and that's what Ricks does coming in the football game. He's more of a passer.
6.5 left here in the first half. Ricks gets the first down, low snap, was able to pick it up and still get the pass off and complete the Kentrell plane. Good coverage by the safety, Levermonte Turner.
You see a difference in the quarterbacks already. Ricks right here makes a good save with the snap, but again, gets rid of the football very quick. He's getting the ball into the hands of his receivers, and that's the thing that
you want to do that.
Exactly. That's
that Sharp didn't do.
That Sharp didn't do was get rid of the ball very quickly.
Yeah, how about big old Ali Hassan also making sure that Ricks just knows who he is. Here comes the pressure. And there was nothing he could do as Mathis came from one side and Brian Evans came from the other, and they had themselves a little sandwich.
Yeah, that's out of the shotgun, and you're going to see Mathis come from the top of your screen. He is so quick coming off of that corner. He's going to come. Look how quick he is coming before the tackle is even out of his stance. He's already up the field and around the corner. He is so quick. Keep an eye on that man right there. He's so quick out of his stance.
So now here it is, third down and 10, and again coming is Brian Evans, and Evans, who was in on the sack the last play, comes again around that other corner. See, he heard you. He said, "See, you're sitting here talking about Mathis. Right. I came to last play. I got to come again."
Well, that's exactly what I said in the open of the game, is that the rest of the defense has stepped up, and so many people are double and triple teaming Mathis that it's opening up the play of all these other guys on the defense to make plays.
So making that fourth down now in 16, and back to punt, Colby Miller. Nicholas Wells is standing back at his 36-yard line. Again, 4:40 and counting here in the first half. Wells is going to take it at the 38-yard line. He's got himself a hole. He's at the 40. Going to stop, get back to the outside, steal eluding tacklers, and takes it inside the 30-yard line. Oh, yeah. Eddie Woods is the man who finally chased him out of bounds, but not before. A big pickup for Nicholas Wells on the punt return.
So you talk about running backs on the kick game, but wide receivers in the punt game also had the open field sense. You got a couple of blocks early, and then there's so much room for the field to run.
So thanks to the big-time return, a punt of 32 yards, a return of 31. And Alabama A&M now sitting pretty again as they are deep in Jaguar territory. So despite the missed field goal, the defense steps it up, gets a couple sacks, and now here Alabama A&M has a chance again to put some points on the board. They'll run the option. Oh, yeah. And how about the rookie quarterback right there? He did what you said. He drew that defense to him, but maybe an ill-advised pitch there.
Oh,
and look at your face.
Oh, I'm cringing. There are certain rules. And, you know, to his credit, he's a passing quarterback. But there is an option game. There is a point of no return. Once this guy gets upfield on you like that, don't pitch the football. Once you get on the inside of that guy, now it's your ball to run. Once you turn your shoulders upfield. Now watch Keith. Once his shoulders go upfield, he's made his decision now. He's made his decision, run the football. If you have to, lower your head, get the first down, get whatever you can get. But once you get guys out leveraged like that, don't pitch the football.
They still got positive yards on it. About 4 yards. Second down. As they give it to the deep back, Melvin Gideon. It's his turn now to pick up some positive yards as he's driven out of bounds by D'Angelo Lewis. Got a whistle down on the field.
This is one thing that Pete Richardson has seen far too many times during the year, and something that he just can't afford, and that's another injury.
They can't afford to lose Jonathan Ford. Been a solid contributor on this defensive line. Has a sack so far this season, and one of those players that's not listed on the too deep depth chart.
We got holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty in the previous spot, second down.
But you go back to Ford, and Ford is one of those players where, you know, you don't see him on the two deeps, but you know they're going to use him, and they use him often.
Yeah. Even though this is the scene where he's got to come. He's got to come right there, and he doesn't follow his block. He gets outside, and he looks like a stuntman there going into the stands.
Well, you said, you know, I almost want to say you almost saw that block where the guy went down low against Ford to try to cut him down.
But one of the things you want to do as a running back is you want to have that patience and let your blockers get out in front of you and set their blocks before you turn it upfield. So you stretch it, and then you wait for them to set their blocks, then you pop it upfield. And that time, he just kept on stretching, thought he could outrun the block instead of falling underneath the block.
But all nullified because of the 10-yard penalty from the spot, so it brings the football back to the 35-yard line, which will make it second down and 15.
And this is a situation that A&M has found themselves in quite often in this game so far.
And Keith, this is where Keith has to start making those decisions, the good ones. And again, flags come all over the place, and his offensive line is not helping him going off sides.
I think that's going to go on number 56, Lewis.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's him right there. You see him just raise up just a little bit. That's enough to get his hands off the ground. Just as soon as you raise up. And Young, the defensive end, number 97, did the right thing by coming across the line of scrimmage. Then the officials have to call it.
Your eye contact with your offensive lineman after he does that.
You don't have to say anything. You know what?
You don't even look at him. Do you look at him?
Don't even look at him. It hurts worse when your quarterback just, that's all right, man. Now, we're second in a million.
But when you don't look at him, he's
hurts.
like, what's he thinking?
Yeah.
What's he thinking? Second down now and 20. As they get it to the outside to Bonds. Bonds trying to go outside. And, I think they've given us another flag on the field, and a late one comes in. As Bond was driven out of bounds by Jabari Green.
I think you're going to have a hold call on Lindsey. You see the official say 1. It's a hold call on Lindsey, the wideout. And Jabari Green, number 50 for Southern. He's a big man, but he chased him down.
Yeah.
Chased him down all the way to the sideline. He's one of the bright spots on that Southern defense.
We got holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Responding foul. Second down.
They are going the other way. That's 3 consecutive penalties.
Here's Lindsey right here. You're going to see the hold as soon as he gets received out. Now, you can't see, but to the far side, he's got his hand on the back. You couldn't see, but he had his right hand on the back. And as soon as you get that hand on the back of the jersey, and the line judge was in a perfect position to see the hand on his back, and easy call.
Holding, offside, holding again. So now they're going backwards, take them back even more, 5 more yards, 2nd down and 25. Keith, good time. Steps, fires. Oh. How about the effort right there by Weekly to make the catch and then go into the band?
That was an amazing throw and catch and call by the official to get the feet as they tap. There's one. That's all he needs, college football. That is an amazing play. When the ball was in the air, I was thinking this would be great in the CFL, but he was able to stick that ball in there and get 1 foot in bounds.
And the effort at the end, big time, for Darrell Weekly, the junior from Water Valley, Mississippi.
And he kept the play alive. He knew his quarterback was to the other side of the field, but made the catch and then gets himself into the band. You always want to get in the band in black college football.
Well, you know, the band from Southern had trouble getting up here with the weather down in Louisiana and the hurricanes, and Weekly almost took them out for the halftime. Here's Keith, touchdown! Complete to Nicholas Wells. 15-yarder. And Alabama A&M goes back on top, 12-7. What are you thinking? Are you thinking 2?
Well,
do you want to make it 14-7?
The way this game has been played, you have to go for 2 at this point because, first of all, your kicker has missed twice in two attempts to put the ball between the uprights. And second of all, it's going to be a close ball game. It's already a low-scoring ball game. Both teams are eating up the clock, so you better go for 2 and even it up.
This young man right here, Johnny Keith, he has shown us some. When he threw that 31-yard pass the previous play to Weekly, I thought, wow, big time. But then to roll left and throw this touchdown pass, and here's the delay of game as they obviously were trying to set themselves and lose time.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
Let's listen to Coach Jones and see what he says. What do you do now?
Alabama A&M has no timeouts right now, so they can't come over and discuss it.
Well, they're going to go for it.
4 wide.
And I think you hear him saying 4 wides. Jonathan Wells and Weekly all have to come from the other side of the field. They're over getting a drink of water, but they have to go for it right now. And I think you keep your plan in. It's a longer play, but you have to have confidence that you can get it in.
Clock is running down. We're at 1 second. They're getting ready to lose it again. Oh, they may have gotten it off. No, they didn't.
Well, I tell you what, this is probably a blessing in disguise because they were rushing to get the play off. Now you move yourself back as we get the call.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It's a serious spot. Get in the hub.
Well, so now they move it back. And as I said, that was a blessing because they were about to rush a play.
Go.
And that you don't want to do. If you're going to take a chance here and he's going to stick with it, he's going for 2.
I was going to say, do you kick now? Now you're even further back.
Well, your kicker hasn't made one yet, so and you have
he
to
missed
think
the
about
PAT
the score.
before.
Exactly. So you figure you go for it right now, and now Coach Richardson's asking for a timeout because now he has a personnel mismatch on the field. He's got 4 wides and doesn't have the guys on the field because he had his defense in there for a 2-point conversion from the 2.
Right.
And now he's got to go against a 2-point conversion from the 13 now, and so now he knows that he has to, from the 14, now he knows that he has to get different personnel in the game, so he has to go with the timeout. But I think if you're A&M, I think you continue to go for the 2 and don't rush it and give your team a chance to get the play off.
Well, you had trips to the right on that formation right there, which was different than what he had seen prior. Look at Anthony Thomas.
Anthony Jones. I'll tell you what he's mad at. You don't
his receivers, Wells and Weekly, were all the way on the opposite 40 getting a drink.
Right.
And when he had to go to 4 wides, these guys aren't paying attention to the ball game. When they see the penalty and know they get pushed back, they better know that they are in there for a 2-point conversion or a play if they get pushed back that far. And that's what drives the coach crazy, is when you don't have personnel keeping their heads in the ball game.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Johnny Keith again showing the arm strength going one way and throwing the other.
Well, Johnny Keith has shown brilliance of being a rookie, of being a freshman, and then also making a play like that with just tremendous ability to throw that ball back inside. That's one of those things you tell your quarterbacks, never throw the football back inside. And he was also, I thought, a little bit close to the line of scrimmage on this play, but he's showing that ability that Anthony Jones has so much confidence in, his ability to get the ball down the field in the pass game.
So they'll try to go for 2 here. The pass is incomplete. You got to be careful because that ball is live on a 2-point conversion. Other team picks it up, goes the other way. They get points out of it.
Well, that would have been an incomplete pass, and they would have been okay there, but they spent all that time preparing for that play, and it almost becomes too much time because what do? Do you go with a 2-point play, or do you go back to your regular offense and pick out a play that's effective in that situation?
So the 2-point conversion fails, but Alabama A&M still has a 12-7 lead thanks to a 4-play drive that covered 70 yards. And it was actually a drive in which we saw 3 consecutive penalties. You thought that the Bulldogs, were dead on that drive, and yet they come up with a couple of huge plays. Weekly made a big-time catch, getting 1 foot in and then going into the band for 31 yards. And then Nicholas Wells makes the touchdown catch.
That's the kind of game that you're going to play when you have a young quarterback. And you see Anthony Jones right now. The thing I like about Anthony Jones, and we spoke with him yesterday, is he does not have these grand expectations that his young quarterback is going to develop right away and turn into Doug Williams that he played with the Washington Redskins. He knows that this is a learning experience, and he has to teach this young guy. You see, he's very calculated. Just in talking with him yesterday, he knows what he wants to get accomplished with this team, and the word that you used in the open, patience. You see him pat his young quarterback on the back and say, you will learn this. You will learn as we mature as a team. We are going to get better as you get better.
Well, he showed that patience at Morehouse. I mean, when he became the head coach their first season, they were 2-8, and then he would lead the Maroon Tigers to their first ever back-to-back 8-game winning seasons. I mean, Morehouse in the past, they have struggled. Doug Williams was the head coach there before going on to Grambling, kind of got them back on track. And then, Jones picked it up and just kept things going for them. So he has proven that he knows how to build a winner. Did it in the SIAC at Morehouse. And this kick goes into the end zone, will not be returned. So with 2.5 minutes left, Southern gets the football back. Again, this is Black College Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And coming up at the half, we bring our Southwest Airlines at the half. And I guess I really don't need to tell them what's coming their way, right? I mean,
you have to know. Right? You have to know.
You take a look at this band from Southern, and there was question as to whether they were even going to get here. As I said, they had those hurricanes going on down in Louisiana. They couldn't get out.
And I will change it and say there was no question that they were going to get here. It was just a matter of when
and how.
And that old expression, come heck or high water. They've got high water in Louisiana, and they still made it.
1st and 10 from the 20. Sharp comes out gunning as they bring Curvis back into the football game. His pass is complete to Alfred Ard. He picks up another first down for Southern.
You look at these two teams, and we talked about going in different directions with Coach Jones teaching his young quarterback on the sideline and bringing him along, where on the other side, Richardson doesn't have the patience with his quarterback, just makes a switch and goes to the new guy.
Got to get things done at Southern. This pass was intended for Kentrell Payne beyond his reach, and that'll force a second down. 2:10 left here in the first half.
And when Pete Richardson makes that switch and goes to a new quarterback, there is a sense with Southern that they have to get it done right away, and you can see it right now in this offense. They don't look like they're settled. They don't look like they're poised. They look like they're trying to force things and make them happen right away.
Sharp from shotgun. Throws downfield. Looking for, big time catch by Michael Haynes. And that's what we've been waiting for.
And that's what his quarterback has been waiting for. Michael Haynes is just going to stay with this play the whole time. There's plenty of coverage in the area. Michael Hayes, you're talking about the focus and the concentration of a wide receiver. He's got guys in his face. He just keeps his eyes focused on the football, and that's why this guy is an All-American.
37-yard pickup. Delayed handoff, this time inside the Peoples. Washington makes the stop.
And that's Curvis Sharp back there at quarterback, and he makes this decision to throw the football and takes a shot.
Jamal Ware, the senior, coming off a 9-tackle effort against Texas Southern last week was Jamal Ware. And I'm telling you, that man will hit you. There he is, number 2. Second down now. Sharp. Now going to try to use that athletic ability to get to the outside. Does, gets rid of the football, and completes the pass. No, he was out of bounds. But how about the effort right there by Curvis Sharp to elude the pressure and get that football away?
Well, sometimes it's ill-advised to elude and just get the ball, throw the ball away. Understand you have a minute and 16. You don't want to lose that much yardage because you're getting in range for a field goal. But right now, once you start scrambling around like that, that's where the flag comes from. You got to look out for the blocks. When you scramble around like that, you're going to end up with some sort of clipping on this play.
Or a hold or something with guys.
Exactly.
Because your offense.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty, the previous spot, second down.
And what you're going to see is a grab there, right here. Watch. Of course, there's Mathis, the guy that everyone's concerned with, and there's a little push right there, and then the tackle at the end, just a little bit around the ankles. And that's a tough call. It's a tough call on the offensive lineman because he's going down, and he's obviously chasing. He's been chasing Mathis all day long, but a tough call for the offensive lineman, but the right call by the official.
And you know what? If he lets him sack the young man, then it becomes maybe even more problems. With Mathis coming around that end, he may even force a fumble. Because here comes Mathis again. Here comes Mathis again. And then he does force the fumble. It's picked up at the point. That's DeAndre Washington. He's from the Dallas sideline. Touchdown. We talked about Mathis, his ability to make plays. He got in the backfield again, forced the fumble this time, and they get a touchdown out of it. Maybe you gotta hold him.
We talked about the categories that A&M defense leads the SWAC, and one of them is in turnovers. And the reason is because of Mathis. He is number 1 in the conference in forced turnovers and forced fumbles.
He forced 5 coming in.
And the other thing that he does so well is his motor is always moving, and he is relentless on plays.
And they went for 2. Trickery. They get it. Wow. The big fullback, Jonathan Rowland, takes it in. Again, all thanks to number 55 and his ability to make the big play as he forced the fumble, and it was returned by DeAndre Washington.
Watch Mathis right away. He's untouched. He's unblocked. He misses him. Curvis Sharp gets away, but he keeps on coming. He keeps on coming on the play and forces the fumble. That's the sign of a great ball player. Then the big man, like you call him, makes the rumble all the way down. And then with the poise, again, watch this kid. He just misses the block, but then he keeps coming. He keeps his feet, and he's relentless. And that is the sign of an outstanding ball player. And then he takes a shot by
Jamal Ware.
Jamal Ware lays it on him.
And then look at big DeAndre Washington. They say 6 foot, 256 pounds. He looks like he's a little heavier than 256.
Well, this goes back to what A&M tried to do before in getting 2 points. Now they're prepared for the 2 point, and it's just going to be a switch pitch to this guy from the center to him, and they're going to get this done very quickly. It's a tough one just to stand up and flip it, and now he's got all the blockers in front of him, and that's one of the reasons why people don't understand why they do that little slide with the offensive front on extra points, but that gives them a chance to get that 2 points like that.
That's the pebble play. That's the one where you're down, in the yard, you use buttons and pebbles. It's like, okay, now I'm going to just snap it over to you to the left.
Were you the pebble or the Coke bottle top?
I was usually that really small thing that said, I was a piece of glass. You go long. Here's Ezra Landry returning for Southern, looking for a hole, and gets out close to the 30-yard line. But thanks to the big 51-yard fumble return by DeAndre Washington and the two-point conversion, Alabama A&M extends their lead to 20-7. See, now there's that hair I talked. You talked about that hair. Look at Ezra's. You see Ezra's hair?
Yep. That's the kind of fro. But I think those were dreads, though.
Yeah, they're dreads. No, that's dreads. But you know, if he took them out, all over the place.
Exactly.
Like you.
Exactly. If he took him out, he'd look like me. Back in the day.
How about this guy right here? Very undersized, 6 foot, 227 pounds. If he were bigger, you'd say he's a first-round pick, right?
If he were, as the coach said, if he were 40 pounds heavier, if he was 6'4", not 40 pounds heavier, if he was 6'4", he's a first-round pick.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And you talked about Southern and their quarterback situation and how Pete says, hey, listen, you make a mistake. I'm not going to sit here and teach. I need to move on.
Right.
And I would assume, because he's gone now to Thomas Ricks, but I would assume a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're 1-4 coming into this football game.
Exactly.
Shotgun formation for Ricks. Ricks stops. Oh, and a big-time interception by the linebacker, Jermaine Mobley. Jermaine Mobley, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama, tipped it to himself, made the catch, and also got himself a couple of yards on the return.
And you see Mobley, he's not a very big guy. He's more like a defensive back. He's only about 190 pounds, and he's the guy that they're going to run underneath receivers from his outside linebacker position and run underneath routes. And you saw his athletic ability on that play, bobbling the ball and making a play on it. He's not a prototypical linebacker. He's more like a defensive back. You're going to see Mobley just get underneath this route, and that's what they're trying to do, is go high-low on those receivers on the corner.
Especially on Hayes. They know that they're going to try to get the football to Hayes. It's sort of like double coverage, but a little disguised. And when you're an inexperienced quarterback, I guess you don't see it. I formation now for Johnny Keith on the run. Pass was intended for Neil Lindsay, but way short. I don't even think Lindsay was looking at it. 35 seconds left on the clock here in the first half for Alabama A&M, and I would assume, are you thinking just get in, field goal territory? You talked about the fact that they're not very confident with that kicking game right now.
Well, if I'm Anthony Jones right now, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I don't want to put Johnny Keith in a position to make a bad play going into the half, and I do want to see if my kicker is going to finally come through for me. So I would expect him to be a little conservative here and play for the field goal, because he doesn't want his quarterback going in on a bad play.
I formation. He again rolls left, tries to gun this one, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, and that's the bad play I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you don't want him to go into the half on a bad note. You want to play conservative at this point. You have a nice lead. You have good momentum in the ball game. Don't make the mistake of trying to force the ball into the end zone, and give your kicker another chance to get a little confidence going into the half.
If they were to attempt a field goal where they are right now, it would be a 48-yard attempt. So obviously way out of Kyler's range.
Well, he had the distance on the one earlier from about 5 yards in. Okay. So he's got the leg strength. It's just a matter of getting the opportunity so he can get some more confidence.
Third down and 10. Delayed handoff, and Southern says nothing doing. They were waiting for that one. Davis comes up and makes the play. Perry, the 6', 280-pound sophomore from Nolens.
And that's a part of it. You see, now you push back. Now you're completely out of field goal range. And now you're just going to let the clock run out and go back into the locker room. I really thought they had a chance earlier with the ball down on about the 31, get a couple yards, and get yourself a field goal.
So the clock comes to 0-0-0. We played one half of football here at the RCA Dome, and Alabama A&M leads by the score of 20-7. You know our Southwest Airlines halftime show coming your way. The band's ready to go.
Today's halftime report is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares.
Welcome back to the Circle City Classic in Indianapolis, where Alabama A&M leads by the score of 20-7. It's halftime, so that means it's time for the bands. The first one, the Southern University Marching Band, better known as the Human Jukebox, under the direction of the esteemed Dr. Isaac Greggs. Of course, Greg's has been there over 30 years and has put together a heck of a band. Sit back and enjoy a band that has marched for Super Bowls, Sugar Bowls, and at Radio City Music Hall in New York.
Put your hands together for the fabulous dancing dolls as they jam to the sounds of I'm Real.
With the dancing dolls for your entertainment pleasure. We have more when we get back. And welcome back to our Southwest Airlines halftime report. Time now to go to the other side of the field as the marching maroon and white band of Alabama A&M University, better known as the Show Band of the South, directed by Arthur B. Wesley II, on the field doing their thing. Let's get a listen.
The sizzling dancing divas are featured to the music called Boys by Britney Spears. Do it, divas.
Time out for this quick promo. Fans, after the game, log on to BET.com or Southwest.com and enter the final score of the game for a chance to win a trip to Vegas. $1,000 cash and, of course, some piping hot pizza, courtesy of Southwest Airlines, Pizza Hut, and BET. Again, you were looking at the marching maroon and white band of Alabama A&M University, the Show Band of the South. We'll have more when we get back. And welcome back. It's the classic Alabama A&M with a 20-7 lead. We have been entertained. You guys didn't get to see Houdini. Houdini was off, they was off the hook, right?
Oh yeah. It's been, halftime it was on some old stuff. It's hard to hear in the dome, but the bands are kicking it.
We were the only two having fun though, because we had a whole seat. But it's halftime right now. Alabama A&M in the lead, and when you think about this lead that they put together, it has obviously been predicated on the play of two players. Offensively, it's been their young quarterback, and then defensively, it's been their defensive end.
Well, Anthony Jones has expected his young quarterback to do the right things all game long and make the little things happen. Of course, Robert Mathis has just been explosive on defense.
Right. Let's take a look at some of our Southwest Airlines halftime stats. So you can see first downs, A&M has the edge there, passing yards, and this was a team that averages just 99 yards in the air. They already have 134, and they've only played a half. What else you see?
Well, the mistakes by A&M, the penalties that have really moved them back, the score could be a lot bigger than it is, and also the turnovers. For A&M, they've turned those turnovers into points.
Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines first half stats, and early on it was all Bulldogs.
Well, we talked about the play of this young quarterback, Keith. He's done a nice job of doing little things right, little short passes at the beginning of the game, and then set up these touchdowns when he allowed his players around him to make big things happen, and that's what his coach is expecting him to do.
That was Jonathan Rowland with the touchdown catch right there, but coming right back. Big Hayes, Michael.
Well, that's the guy we expected to make the big plays, and that's what Coach Pete Richardson wanted, was him to come up with big plays. But then Keith comes right back with the long pass to Weekly, and he's showing that he has the poise to make big things happen. Here's another play where he gets outside and throws the ball back to the inside for the touchdown. He's done some little things and made some big plays happen.
Meanwhile, it's been Robert Mathis, who you talked about, forcing the fumble, and big DeAndre Washington rolling.
That's right. And Robert Mathis made that play happen by keeping his motor running, and then they got back for the field goal that they missed, the extra point they missed, and finally got that two-point conversion. So they've done it in so many different ways.
And that is where we stand right now, as, again, Alabama A&M has the lead. Second half action coming your way in a sec.
Today's halftime report has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares.
Beautiful cover girl.
And welcome back here at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. George Johnson along with Robert McPherson and, of course, our whole BET staff. And I mean, when I say the whole staff, and I just said Robert McPherson, I meant Don McPherson. I don't know where I'm at.
Maybe you're thinking Robert Mathis.
No, I'm not here. I don't want to think about Robert Mathis. I'll tell you what, I don't want to be I don't want to be Curvis trying to run away from me. Yeah. But again, George Johnson along with Don McPherson, can I correct myself, and our whole BET crew, everybody's awake with me. And Alabama A&M, who has the 20-7 lead and gets the football first. And immediately, it's Gideon with the carry, takes it out, past the 20-yard line. Now remember, in the first half, Alabama A&M had the football after a 3-and-out for Southern and immediately went 10 plays, 72 yards, and got 6 points.
Yeah, and despite those 2 interceptions, it was a solid first half for Keith. There were a lot of learning experiences, and Anthony Jones has a lot of confidence that this kid is going to continue to develop. So his learning stage and that learning curve just continues here in the second half.
Thank you, Robert. 20-7 is
you notice I didn't flinch. I'll be Robert. That's all right.
High formation behind the freshman. Oh, they're going flea flicker on us. And there is nobody in the area.
And I talked about learning experience. At that time, young Keith knew the play was gone. Throw the ball away, live to play another day. You start with a flea flicker, you start with something, a little bit of razzle-dazzle to start the half. And he knows right now he should stay up in the pocket. Johnson's getting a good push-up field. He should stay in the pocket, but once he gets out of the pocket, he knows he has nothing. Just throw the ball away. Good decision.
Neil Lindsay was the only receiver headed downfield, and yet he was double covered. Right. So they did a good job defensively, Southern.
Exactly. Southern didn't fall for the fake. I think you have to run that play a few more times before they get lulled into coming upfield on it.
Again, in the first half, Keith 8 of 16, Had the 2 interceptions, but also had 2 touchdown passes. Oh, he's looking for Lindsey. Boy, if he had been able to get it to him, he had gotten behind the defender, and he had nothing but pay dirt in front of him.
You know, you wonder about Keith and the tie. You see him saying, my fault, my fault. He knew he had his receiver. You wonder what kind of system he was in high school, because when he rolls out, he doesn't get his shoulders, what we call getting his shoulders downfield. His shoulders are facing the sideline and not going downfield, and he has to make sure that he gets his shoulders around so he can make accurate passes down the field when he's running.
He's slowly but surely getting comfortable with this offense. Last week, he was 9 of 20 for 180 yards in the win over Texas Southern, and has actually led his club to 2 straight victories coming into this one with short touchdown runs late. 3rd down now in 10. He rolls again. This time he sets and throws, but that one was almost picked off by Lenny Williams. Would have been his second of the day.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, it looks bad on the quarterback. That was a high pass. But look, he's got 2 guys right here. These guys are way too close to each other. They don't know which one's doing what, and that's part of the problem. You can put a lot on the quarterback for a bad pass and a bad decision, but those 2 receivers have to get some distribution on the field.
Was that Wells and Weekly, who we didn't see at that point after they down there dancing?
That's right.
So
Wells and Lindsey.
Collar now will attempt the punt. The junior from Stone Mountain, Georgia, averaging 37 yards per punt. Jenkins with the return. He stopped shy of midfield. So now Southern, who trails 20-7 in this one, it's their first possession of the second half, and you wonder now who's going to be the quarterback. We saw both Curvis Sharp and Thomas Ricks in the first half.
And I think Curvis Sharp is standing on the field in that huddle, and once again another little bit more laundry on the field. But that's no way to start the half.
So they're saying holding on the return, so I would assume it was after the punt. So they'll still maintain possession of the football.
We got holding on a receiving team. It'll be 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
You see Pete Richardson kind of losing it over there, but you know, he talked about having so many young players on the field because of his injury problems, having so many young players, and these are the kind of mistakes that you're going to expect from a young team. Guys who don't get a chance to play very often are going to make those kinds of mistakes. And here's one of those guys who doesn't get to play very often. I'm a little surprised that he's gone with a different quarterback. He's gone with Ricks a few times, and that's going to shake up your confidence of a young quarterback. And it could be that he got dinged a couple times because he did take some shots in the first half.
So here's Sharp. Hands off to his big running back, and Peoples had done the bulk of the running in the first half, but it looks like they have a brand new back on the field right now for Southern, number 33, and that's Marcus Newman.
Yeah, and they're looking for something new to happen. Obviously looking for a spark is what Pete Richardson kept saying to us yesterday. But you know, the other thing that you want to do is run towards Mathis to kind of neutralize him. But he leads in SWAC and tackles for a defensive lineman. He made that tackle on that last play. And this guy is just so many different places on the field.
Newman again. Takes it up the middle. Where was the man who made the tackle?
Decent amount of blocking up front, but you know, we talked about what a guy like Mathis does, and those guys that are playing so well. And Ware has been the beneficiary of some outstanding play up front by Mathis.
Here's Newman again with the carry. Looking to get to the first down marker. He does. Gets out of bounds. Horton drives him out, but not before he picks up the first down. So 3 consecutive carries for Mr. Newman, and it garners a first.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Southern has to do in this football game if they're going to get back in this game, and that is grind things out, keep that A&M offense off the field, and get first downs, move the chains, and keep possession of the ball.
Prior to his first 3 carries here in the second half, Newman had carried the ball just 1 time this season for 11 yards. And this time the carry, fumble, and A&M looks like they picked up the ball.
Sometimes that's what happens when you don't carry the ball very much. You're not used to securing that football, especially in the middle of the formation.
And they're going to say that the ground caused the fumble and that it was a dead ball.
Well, we'll get another look at it coming right at you. You be the judge whether or not that ball is out. And
He landed on his back and the ball came out, so I think the officials made the right call.
Did you like the way he was holding the football as he came through the hole?
I couldn't see it to verify my claim.
Okay. But he picks up close to 2, 2nd and 8. Sharp throws it. Kentrell Plain catches it. Coverage by Holt, but close to another first down for Southern.
And that time Sharp threw the ball on time and got the ball to Plain, who was kind of drifting in his route, but those again are the kinds of routes that he has to throw. The routes when he can see the receiver's numbers coming back at him.
Plain had 2 receptions in the first half for 21 yards. Gets the first, ball's at the 39. Newman again with the carry. So now they're just going to climb on the back of this young kid. Marcus Newman, 6'2", 215 pounds. He's a sophomore from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And you wonder, did Peoples have that bad of a first half?
Well, I think it's a matter of Pete Richardson looking for someone to make a spark on his team and get his team going, and obviously he thinks it's going to happen in the run game. He's going to throw it.
And Newman, a little pass, and it is a moon ball, and we've got a pass interference. Pass was intended for number 80, Davis, and defensively, Levernante Turner was there and committed the faux pas.
Well, that ball, Newman threw that ball so high, it's straight to the top of the dome. I think that's why you got the PI. Turner probably figured the ball can't be in the air that low, and that ball just goes right out of the screen. Our cameras can't even follow how high that ball went. So Newman figured the ball's got to come down eventually, and in the meantime, it's a mugging. And an easy call for the official. So it was decent coverage there, good coverage there.
You wonder if he hadn't put so much air under the ball.
It would have been a touchdown.
But they do get the pass interference call, go their way, so now Curvis Sharp comes back into the game. Actually, he's been in and he hands it off to Newman, and Newman picks up another 7 yards on the play.
You know, with everything going on at halftime and all the excitement in this building, and then the excitement of A&M being up by so much, this drive right now is allowing Southern to reestablish a tempo in this ball game, one that better suits them, and they're doing it with their run game. And again, this is how they wanted to play the whole game, but they're doing a nice job right now of changing the tempo of this ball game.
Sharp this time gives it to the first back coming through, number 32 for Southern. And that's Mark Frederick.
Southern using all the players that they brought with them. Every guy that they have at their disposal. Trying to make something happen and re-energize this team. This is a big situation for Southern right now. They cannot afford a second loss.
3rd down now. Make it 2. And they give it to Newman. And again, the big back working his way close to another first down for Southern.
Another first down. This is just such a big drive for Southern right now, no matter what happens. Again, they're reestablishing the line of scrimmage. They're getting first downs. They're getting 2s and fews. They're moving the chains. And most importantly, they've taken about 3.5, 4 minutes off the clock. Kept A&M's offense on the sideline.
10th play of this drive. Newman, the workhorse, with the pitch to the outside. Chased out of bounds by Mobley, but he picks up yet another 2-3 yards. And now Newman gets a well-deserved breather. And you wonder, even though he's getting tired, he can go to the side and get a little break. As for this defense, they can go nowhere.
And especially with the no huddle, it doesn't allow the defense a chance to regroup and kind of reset themselves. And that no huddle is tough, especially in the run game like this.
Sharp rolls left. The pass was intended for Davis. And it's interesting, there are so many receivers that Southern has, and they really haven't gone to guys like Altravion Jobert. air. They've been using Davis a lot.
Well, Davis is open right now. He's got to throw the football. That's a late throw by the quarterback. He's got to get his shoulders around and release the ball on time. If he does, if he gets the ball in the hands to Davis right out of his break, he's got a shot to get the ball down the field.
You can see this current drive. They've gone 51 yards. But they still have that important 11 to go for a touchdown. Sharp into the end zone. Intercepted. Pass was intercepted by Levernante Turner, his second of the season. And the redshirt sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama, stops that impressive drive by Southern.
And he's trying to throw the fade route, but he's got guys back here in the secondary just hanging back in the secondary. That's not the kind of defense you want to throw the fade against. You only throw the fade when you have one-on-one coverage and no one back here. Unfortunately, there's someone over the top. That's when you have to put the ball on the line and force the receiver to turn around and come back to it.
So thanks to the interception, Southern's attempt to draw close comes up short. 9:55 left here in our third quarter.
Here, George, he's got to read this coverage. You just can't throw the football up there and expect your wide receivers to make a play. And that time, it looked like he was expecting Hayes to make a play. And, you know, he's your go-to guy, but sometimes he gives you a little false sense of security because you still have to read the coverage.
Absolutely. But here now A&M with the football, and it looks like a miscue on the snap, and Southern says they got it back. The referee is saying, How about that, pal? How about when you get inside there? How can you explain what's going on inside there? People wrestling for that football.
You know,
you get fingers in the eye.
Yeah, I saw a great special the other day, you know, talking about the pile and the scrum in football and guys biting each other and grabbing each other and all kinds of things like that under the pile. It's a lot of fun until somebody with some bad breath, you know, something like that, or somebody grabs you,
teeth, huh?
Yeah, then it's not a lot of fun. But you really want these guys to, you know, some guys don't brush their teeth for a couple of days.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so when they get in there, it's nice and ripe.
Well, Alabama A&M got it back. So here they are, second down now. A little over 11 for first. Again, their young quarterback, Johnny Keith, rolling out to his right, decides to hold on to it. And picks up close to 5 yards on the play, run out of bounds by Ware.
You know, that has been the problem with Southern all year long. They're only averaging 16 points a game, but they put up 340 yards of offensive game, and it's because of what you just saw. They drive the ball down the field. They're good between the 20s. Once they get inside the 20, they're not very good in the red zone, and Coach Richardson yesterday was kind of defending that, but they really have not been that productive in the red zone.
So here we are now with the ball at the 23. Third down and 7. 3 receivers split to the left. But they're going to go right with the screen pass as they were looking to get it off to Melvin, or actually Jeremiah Bonds. Ball was overthrown, and that forces a 4th down and long. So now Alabama A&M forced to punt the football, and when you think about it, though they seem to have been in control throughout, Southern still within striking ability. If they can get themselves a touchdown, remember that point after could end up haunting Alabama A&M, the one that was missed in the first quarter. Kyler will punt the football. Ezra Landry calls for a fair catch. And so Southern will start 1st and 10 at their 39-yard line. Southern comes in with a record of 1-4 overall, 1-1 in conference play. In their last ball game, they lost to Nicholls State. Before that, they lost to Jackson State right here on BET. But they're looking to get themselves a win, get a little bit momentum, because next week it's homecoming, in which they take on Mississippi Valley State.
And this is a team that has really dealt with a lot. They've had 2 hurricanes blow through Louisiana in the past 2 weeks. They've had a fire at that complex. There've been a lot of things going on with this team, and it's really been a monumental job for Coach Richardson to keep his team together.
Here's Sharp on 1st and 10. Goes out. Very nice catch there by his receiver. And that catch was Chris Davis.
Yeah, look at these guys. They have some receivers, guys that can catch the football. And this is an outstanding one-handed catch by Davis, who gets him again.
I would expect them to go to the short passing game right now and go right back to what they did in that last drive. Just get first downs, get first downs.
He got 5 yards on that play. Now makes it 2nd down and 5. Again, Newman is the deep back in the I formation. And they give it to him. This time he bounces to the outside, picks up big-time yards. Got himself a block from the All-American Michael Hayes and takes it down to the 39-yard line for another first down.
I tell you, this guy Newman is running hard, and he's going to have to take himself out there for a play, but he's running hard and showing real good vision between the tackles, and that's what you want to see from your backs. And once they get in there between the tackles, that they have the vision to see where the hole is. You look at those numbers that he's putting up already, it's the most productive thing that's happened to Southern in a while.
Got 17 on that play. Now takes a breather as the ball's marked at the 39. Peoples comes back in. And they give it to him. Peoples running hard, and sometimes that also is what happens when you bring another back in and you put your starter on the sideline. When he does get back into the game, he runs real hard.
Exactly. He starts to see the holes that the new guy has seen and also wants to show that, hey, man, don't take me out too long. I'm going to show you I can still do it. Coach Pete doesn't look too convinced right there. You better hurry up and show me.
Because I got Newman standing right next to him.
Right.
Peoples picked up about 5 yards on that one, so it's 2nd down now. Southern has been really patient here. Jamal Ware shot the gap looking for Peoples, but he was able to elude the tackle and get close to another first down for Southern. Making the stop, the middle linebacker, Trevorius Nunn.
This is the tailback now. You coming right now. That's that one when we coming upfield and he's coming at us. Y'all understand? Y'all remember that ball handler?
Talked about Anthony Jones. That's Anthony Jones right there in the middle of the head coach.
Yes.
Here,
you understand?
while his defense is on the field, taking the time to go over to the offense and coach up his offense. He's an offensive-minded guy, and he's going to take the time to make sure they get it done.
Peoples was short of a first down on that prior play. It was 31. They gave it to him again, and this time he picks up about 5 yards on the play, so that gives Southern another first down. Again, it seems as if they've slowed everything down. In the first half, it was no huddle throughout. We saw Curvis Sharp, the young man, seem to be struggling with it. Many times they spent looking at the sideline. What do we do next? What do we do next? But they've slowed things down here in the second. Inside handoff. Again, this time to Newman, who's come in.
You know, one of the things that I think too many teams do is they think too much. All you have to do is get man on a man, body on a body, and push the guys forward. You have offensive linemen who love it when you do that. They don't like it when you start trying to think and start doing too much speculation. You want to just push the guys, get off the ball and push the guys down. And that's what they're doing right now, especially when you have guys because of injuries playing out of position. Just give them a chance to run the ball straight up the field.
Here they go now, shotgun. Sharp's pass is complete to Alfred Ard. Another thing that I saw in that last replay, though, is if you keep the ball on the ground in the middle of the field, you take Robert Mathis out of the football game as well.
And the one thing that they've been doing is running directly at Mathis. When they go away from him, they've been pitching away from him because he's so fast in pursuit. But when they run at him, they've had a chance to neutralize his speed by getting underneath him, and he overruns the play sometimes. So you're right, they have been able to, with a basic run attack, take him out of the game.
3rd down and about 4. And they give it inside again to Newman. Boy, you get those 3rd down and 4s and you keep it on the ground and you pick up first downs. That's big.
It is big. And again, with the no huddle right now they have a big decision to make. And the thing about the no huddle is it's not a hurry up. And so they have time, even though they don't huddle a lot, to make a decision. Meanwhile, on the other side, A&M, they see Pete Richardson saying, hey, listen, hurry up. It's no huddle, but we still have to keep mindful of that clock.
Newman, again, the hole, the run, the first down. And he takes it down close to the 6. I was going to say Colby Miller is not a bad kicker, a place kicker. He's already kicked one from 43 yards out, but you got to be thinking, I would assume, 7 right now.
Well, they are thinking 7. See all the guys standing around? See these guys over here just standing there? They're just standing up waiting for something to happen, and that allows that offensive line to fire off. That's part of what happens with a no huddle. Those guys kind of get lulled to sleep. See them all just kind of standing there. See them just standing around. They're not really getting their shoulders down and getting prepared for a play.
And Newman continues to carry the load. Again, like I said, before today's ball game, he had 1 carry on the season for 11 yards. 1. So here we are, 2nd and goal. And again, they go back to the no huddle. But it just doesn't seem like they're rushed.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys right here. They're all just standing up. They don't have their shoulders down. They're not ready to take on blockers.
Newman dives through the middle. Takes it down close to the 2, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and goal.
George, the guy who gets his shoulder pads lower wins. And what this no huddle is doing right now to them is it's keeping their shoulders up. The defensive guys are standing up, and those offensive guys can get underneath those pads and make blocks.
Lionel Macklin, the linebacker, the middleman, has come in, and Newman tried to test the middle of that Bulldog defense and nothing doing. Going to bring up a 4th and goal. And now what are you thinking? Do you go for it?
Well, you come this far and you turn the ball over time and time again. I would still go for it, but you know, they've moved the ball so well, I think you can take chances because they have moved the ball so well on offense this half. And they've used up so much clock, they're running out of enough time to really stage a comeback, so they better hurry up and get some points on the board.
If they had gotten the points earlier, if it had more time, you would have said take the 3. You got plenty of time.
If there were 8 minutes left on the clock right now, I would say take the 3. They've worn down most of this quarter already.
We approach the 3-minute mark of the 3rd. Newman tries the inside, and nothing doing on 4th and goal. The Bulldogs of Alabama A&M have held the former fullback turned linebacker, Trevorius Nunn, is the one who made the stop.
That's about all you can do. You're playing against the best defense in the Southwest Conference. And as you said, these guys came ready. Once they got down by the goal line, they knew what it was all about. They kept their shoulders down, and they made the big stop to save the touchdown.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Dell Computer. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Well, it's the 19th annual Circle City Classic, one of the oldest classics in all black college football and one of the most successful. Alabama A&M made the stop on 4th and goal and now have possession deep in their own territory. They give it to the deep back, Jeremiah Bonds, and Bonds will pick up a couple of yards before him being stopped by Jabari Green.
Here comes the other test now for Alabama A&M, and their offense is to get their feet out of the end zone. They're going to go with their big guys, a couple of tight ends, a couple of fullbacks, and try to move those guys out.
But you look at that second half right there for Southern and what they have done, you know, offensively with the football.
24 plays, and we talked about their production all year long of not being able to move the ball between the 20s, but not getting it in the end zone. And you see with an interception and then losing it on downs, they're following that trend today. They really have to work on their offense inside the 20.
And now they look to their defense once again to make a stop and try to get the football back. And they do so. Jabari Green says hard.
Jabari Green's a big guy. We saw him playing sideline to sideline earlier, but this time he comes up the field. And you see him, he's a solid guy. He's a thick guy. And they try to get the push off the line, but Jabari Green just shoots the gap.
Jeremiah Bonds never had a chance.
And, you know, Southern has played well in spurts. They've played well in places. Their defense has been solid in places. Again, there were 7 points that came from A&M's defense, so they have played fairly well today. But their offense just has not been able to take advantage of what they've given them.
And the other touchdown that they got, one of the other ones were made by sparkling plays by the wide receivers. It wasn't really long drives. In fact, they were faced with a 3rd down and 25. Was it 25 or 3rd down and 30 at one point?
Right.
So you're right, the defense has done a really good job outside of that first drive when A&M marched the football downfield and got the first 6.
Exactly.
Time for today's Scholastic Athletes of the Game, brought to you by Dell Computer. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell. Perry Davis, the sophomore from Southern, with a 3.4 GPA, and the kicker from Alabama A&M, Rashad Kyler. In electrical engineering, 3.7.
You know what's impressive though about A&M yesterday when they came in and they were looking for who has the highest GPA and everybody said Kyler right away, but then other guys were 3.4s and 3.2s, and there's a lot of bright guys on this football team.
Times have changed where athletes now, and thanks to Proposition 48 and things of that nature, where young kids now know that if in order for them to stay eligible to be able to play, they have got to do their schoolwork, and I think that it has changed the whole environment. You still have kids that are not going to study, who are going to try to, who are thinking, I'm going pro, it doesn't matter. But it just seems as if there's more kids today that seem to be doing their work. Your comments on that?
There's no question about it. They have to do their work to stay on the field, and the rules are much more strict than they've ever been. And what you're seeing is not just kids going to class, but kids like Kyler who are excelling in the classroom.
And again, I remember when Proposition 48 came out and everybody said this is a terrible idea, it's hurting kids. But you knew there were going to be casualties, and yet some of the kids have gotten better. But here we are now, 3rd down for Alabama A&M, deep in their own territory at the 1-yard line. And they want to do something safe. And they they got it out. Boy, the linebacker shot the gap there. I thought they had a chance at a safety.
Well, they were bringing everybody up on the line of scrimmage.
The defense said, hey, listen, if the offense can't score in the red zone, we'll go ahead and get some points.
That's right, and that's Pearl who's timed it out just perfectly. There's your scholar athlete, Kyler, right back to punting. This is what you don't want. You don't want your punter standing on the end line when he has to kick. It shortens the rush for the defense.
Ezra Landry standing back at A&M's 43, and it gets through his arms. He was probably a little conscious of it. Gets through the hands, and a safety. So put 2 points on the board for Southern, as they now make it 20-9.
He'll say that was over my head, but he has to make that catch. And one of the things that happens to a kicker is that he starts to be a little bit conscious of that line, and that was a catchable ball. It was right in his head. It was a little high, but it was definitely a catchable ball.
How much was he concerned? You made a great point. He's standing on his own end line. We'll talk about it when we get back, but how concerned was he knowing he didn't have the normal space a punter needs to get rid of the football? And welcome back. Southwest Airlines bringing you Black College football here on BET. George Johnson along with Don McPherson, the BET crew.
And those are the hardest working people right there in the building.
And again, like I said, they almost didn't get here. They almost didn't even make it.
Look at them up here. They're like their own little organism up there. They're just moving. They're making noise. It's like they're like one being up there. They are alive.
And you wonder how many people are looking at them and not what's going on the field right now. You and I need to get back to the field. As you get a good look right there, Rashad Kyler. Of course, this is an outstanding athlete, but now the pressure is going to be on him to come up with a good punt. Remember, after the safety, they punt the football. So Southern, who has had their problems offensively, trying to punch it in, should get good field position to start off. 44 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. Southern trails 20-9. Landry takes it back at the 28-yard line, looking to get to the outside, and Landry finds a little room, and then, boy, he did take a pop right there.
Man, I heard that from up here.
And it looked like that was John Garrett, the linebacker, the junior from Linville, Alabama, coming up and making a stick.
Yeah, he's got a coach right now telling him, do you know where you are?
Are you okay?
He's trying to congratulate. He said, Coach, I hear you. I just can't see you.
Well, you remember, he's the one with all those dreads, so, he has that padding in there now.
I don't care. I heard that.
He still heard it, yeah. So it's 1st and 10 now. As Sharp is back in the game for Southern, a quarterback. And immediately goes out to his All-American wide receiver, Michael Hayes, and Hayes picks up 11 yards on the play. Trevorius Nunn was the man defending. I don't know if anyone can really defend Hayes.
Yeah, when you watch Hayes and you watch his legs, he's just got such strength and power in his legs that when he catches that football, he turns and he's ready to take on hits. He's ready to get the ball peeled right away. He's very good after the catch.
So 1st and 10 now. Ball at the 44. They try to get to the outside. And remember, Hayes, did play Division I football. He was at LSU, made the transfer. He's a big-time player. I think one of the most disturbing things, news-wise, I heard this week, was that he was taken off that Walter Payton Award finalist list. Only 16 names on it. But again, that list is based on performance. And since this team has had a hard time trying to find themselves a quarterback, he hasn't had the numbers that he is capable of getting. Remember, Hayes had 80 receptions, a school record, a couple of years ago with 15 touchdowns. Ali Hassan is on the field, but good look right there at Michael Hayes, who a lot of people believe will still be playing football on Sundays coming up next year.
Yeah, no question about it. He has all the skills, and as you talked about, he was a guy who went to Division I, came back, and so many guys around these teams. You have guys who transfer from Memphis and other schools that they take a shot and they realize they want to come back home, place where they feel a little bit more comfortable, and get a chance to do all the things that they want to do. And this young man will definitely have an opportunity, especially as a wide receiver at that next level, because, as you said, he's put up the numbers. He had 80 receptions 2 years ago and came in last year, the preseason offensive player of the year in the SWAC, before going down the game that we covered against Prairie View last year in the opener. And he's a talented receiver. And, the other thing that his coaches say about him is that he really has matured this year. And he's not just a talent on the field in terms of his ability, but he has matured in his ability to take care of this team. And with them playing the way they are this year, he's really been a leader all year long, both on and off the field. And very happy to see Hassan get off
the field on his own power.
Exactly.
As for Hayes, though, 6'5", 220 pounds. He has all the tools to play in the National Football League. And here we are now, 2nd down and 4. And we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. And Southern with the football, but trailing by 11. See if they can get back in this thing when we get back. Welcome back. This is the Circle City Classic here on BET, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. And now time for our Pizza Hut 3rd quarter stats. Brought to you by Pizza Hut, home of the big New Yorker, thin and crispy, pan, stuffed crust pizza, and more. Go ahead, Don. Take it away.
Well, I think that the big number there is that one turnover, that just one difference. It was an evenly played quarter in some ways. That one turnover kept something out of the game, out of the end zone.
And Mathis again coming on the backside, but Sharp was able to get rid of it and complete it to Davis. And Davis with another big-time pickup. Wesley Bynum was the man defensively on the play, but they get it down to the 22-yard line.
You're going to see again the speed of Mathis just running down. This guy is just so fast for a guy his size and his position. And inside right here is your receiver Davis, who just keeps the play alive, makes a nice play in the middle of the football field. And these are the kind of plays that Southern really hasn't had. They've been doing it with the run game.
So 1st and 10. Sharp, corner of the end zone. Looking for his big receiver, Michael Hayes, and looked like Hayes got tangled up with Reginald Johnson.
Well, Hayes is asking for a call there from the official, but I think really what happened was it looked like a confusion between the route that Hayes was running and the route that Sharp was throwing to him. It looked like Sharp thought he was either going to stay to the outside or run a post corner, and that time Hayes had to move inside, and I think that was more of a miscommunication between quarterback and wide receiver.
You wonder if Hayes wasn't sitting there going, now come on, ref, you know he can't check me. Anytime I'm not near the ball, he grabbed me.
That's right.
You know he can't check me. 2nd down and 10. I formation, trying to pitch. Newman, who's done a good job here in the 2nd half, but no. Jamal Ware said, and what's your point? We got a flag, and they're probably going to call him for a face mask.
They'll call a face mask on Ware.
Jamal Ware has been one heck of a defender with this program over the past couple of years. Last year he was hurt, but the year before that he just dominated at the linebacker spot.
And you see with Ware and with Mathis and a few of the other guys up front how fast this A&M defense is. They do a good job of getting pushed up the field.
Now face mask, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So again, inadvertent.
inadvertent left eye. You see the hand come around the front. It's hard to see that angle. You saw the hand come up, and he's going to pull that hand away quickly. So it wasn't a flagrant. He didn't pull the head down with it. You just got to, all you have to do is get a hand on the mask itself, and they'll throw the flag.
Ware, of course, leads this club in tackles and ranks 4th in the SWAC in tackles. But you look at him, and he's just 5'10", 205 pounds. If he were to play at the next level, it wouldn't be a linebacker.
Well, he'd be a strong safety, and the way he plays the position now would lend to that.
Here's Sharp on 2nd down, and this time Sharp did a real smart thing, because remember, we saw him forcing some things before, but this time he got rid of it.
And that time Mobley, the outside linebacker, we talked about him getting underneath the coverage and underneath Hayes in coverage. That's exactly where Mobley was, number 17. Got himself outside and underneath and gave Sharp no place to throw the football.
And you see Trevorius Nunn, as I said, he was a former fullback with this team. I remember a couple of years ago doing it. He was running the ball effectively, and they've moved him to the middle linebacker spot, and he has taken the position away from Lionel Macklin, who last year was the leading tackler on the team.
I remember Macklin last year. He was an outstanding backer on the inside. I was surprised to see Nunn, but like you said, he took that job away by his play on the field.
So 3rd down now, 5, Newman. Newman is tackled down at the 13-yard line. That will probably be a yard shy of a 1st down, as Ware is the man who got hold of him. Harold Penn also in on the tackle. But now on 4th down, again, you talk about how the clock continues to roll, and we don't have a whole lot of time for Pete Richardson to make some moves in terms of kicking a field goal here and then trying to get the football back. You wonder, is he going to go for it? Newman, off tackle, gets the 1st down. And again, I correct myself. I guess if they had kicked the field goal, they would have had an opportunity to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it.
And once again, you have to look at the time on the clock that he has to work with. He doesn't have a lot of time. He has no choice but to try to get another 7 points on the ball, on the clock, on the scoreboard as quickly as possible.
So the ball is just shy of the 10-yard line. Looks like this team can still get a 1st down without getting it in the end zone. But if they get that close, they might as well put it in. Double tight end set I formation. Newman, and look at Ware shoot through the gap and make the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Ware coming from the side and Nunn coming up the middle, and this is exactly, again, where Southern has had their problems. And you got to wonder how long it's going to be before this team just starts to fall apart when they don't take advantage of this kind of field position. And that A&M defense is very tough against the run, and they are showing it right now when it matters inside the red zone.
They've allowed just 131 yards per game rushing their opponents. Last week, actually, Alabama State is the top defense in the conference against the run. But Southern now with some decisions to make with 12-14 left. 12-14 left in this football game. Alabama A&M has an 11-point lead over Southern. But Southern has the football deep in Alabama A&M territory. But as you said before, Don, they had a lot of problems trying to score in the red zone. What do you do to offset the pressure that A&M brings? They're going to go shotgun. Sharp over the middle. Oh, he was looking for Kentrell Plain, and a big-time play by Turner to break it up.
That was a big-time pass coverage by Turner. And I think, George, what you do is you do what you've been doing to get to the red zone. Now they're going something they haven't done in 45 yards, and that's with a spread offense and asking this kid to throw the ball and thread the needle. Let him do what he's been doing. Hand the ball to your big guys up front and pound it towards the end, towards the goal line. Now this kid just does not have the arm strength right now to fire this ball in there, and that is great coverage right there by Turner, number 30.
So it's 3rd down and 11. Again, they can get a 1st down. They get it to the 1-yard line.
You see that number 6 right there, the A&M offense. That's because this Southern offense has been on the field most of this half.
Here comes Mathis. Looking in the end zone. Oh, and a touchdown! Altravion Jobert. And we've got one official saying it was out of bounds.
Yeah, one official saying that's out of bounds, and the back judge is saying from his angle, there he is right there arguing the point, saying he was out of bounds.
And so now...
And now you're going to have, that's the back judge right there. He has the best angle to see the feet and the momentum of the receiver going out of bounds. He's the one who makes the call.
One official said touchdown.
Well, this is college football, and there's no challenge. There's no instant replay. So this is as it stands.
Oh, it looks like he had a foot in when he made that catch.
Well, the back judge is the one who made the call, and he had the best angle because he's right underneath the goalpost, and he had the best angle to see where that second foot was.
So a 29-yard attempt by Kobe Miller. Kick is up, plenty of distance, and no good. And so Pete Richardson now has to implore his defense to once again make a stop on Alabama A&M so he can get the football back.
He's got to get this second foot down, and there's one, and that second one is right there on the line. A good call by the back judge.
No, you only need 1 foot down in college football. 1 foot in college football, 2 in the NFL.
2 in the end zone.
2 in the back of the end zone.
2 in the end zone, 1 in the field. That's why the one we saw earlier. That foot is out of bounds.
Then it's a great call.
You need
then it's a great call.
In the end zone, 1 in the field.
Why are you not wearing a black and white jersey, okay? Why?
I like it yelled at.
Second half action here where Alabama A&M holding on to a 20-9 lead. The offense has really been quiet. Southern has had time of possession, had 10 first downs. Here we go right now on 1st and 10, and we got a brand new quarterback as Timothy Robinson Jr. comes in, the redshirt freshman from Montgomery, Alabama, who's attempted just 6 passes all season long, but has seen time prior to today. And you're wondering, is Johnny Keith injured or what?
Well, I think this is a smart move when you have 2 young quarterbacks and you want to get both guys some time to develop. You don't want them getting stale on the sideline. And here's an opportunity. You're knowing that Southern right now in 3 drives has come up with 0 points in 3 drives. You might as well take a chance with a young guy knowing that Southern just has not been able to put it in the end zone.
And again, Alabama A&M with no first downs here in the second half. Here's Robinson. Got a good block right there. Just couldn't get away with it because Jabari Green came up and shut the door on him.
I like the decision to give a young quarterback another guy a chance to get on the field and get the feel of this game, especially in this exciting atmosphere that's here today. I like the opportunity to give this guy another chance or a chance.
Meanwhile, when you look at Johnny Keith, and taking consideration that he sat on the sideline the first couple of games and was very frustrated about not getting time, finally gets the time, produces 2 straight wins, you wonder what he's thinking.
Well, I'm sure he's a competitor, wants to be on the field, but you have to look at the betterment of the team here.
Right. And look at Robinson showing some moves. Dropped the football. Did it get out of bounds? Yes.
And that's exactly why you want to see him pointing to himself. That's exactly why you want to give young quarterbacks a chance to get in the football game and make mistakes. You want him to make mistakes when they don't matter as much as in a tight ball game. And he will learn that once you make your move, okay, you make a good move right there, tuck that ball away, put it under your arm, and tuck it away just like a running back. And that's the things he'll learn from having the opportunity.
Randy Williams, the senior from Brandon, Mississippi, is the one who came up and knocked it out. He had been blocked very well, but was able to knock it out. And you can see Alabama A&M gets their first down thanks to the 13-yard run by Robinson. Carry by Gideon, and Gideon picks up a couple of yards. Stop was made by Sheldon Pearl, so that'll make it 2nd down and 9 as the clock continues to roll. 9:50 as we approach. Again, Alabama A&M would do well to keep the football on the ground because Southern seems to be able to move the football downfield. It's just like you said, when they get in that red zone.
Right.
Robinson, nice little fake on the run, finds his receiver. It is complete, caught by Nicholas Wells, shy of a first down.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Singular Wireless. Introducing Singular Rollover. They're your minutes. Keep them.
defense. Penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Another penalty on the field. This one goes against Southern, and it's a big impede. He's not going to be happy about that. They had done a good job of stopping, and maybe Anthony Jones's idea of changing quarterbacks has changed the whole look of this offense.
Well, what Pete Richardson is going to be upset about right here is that he had an opportunity to get his offense back on the field, and another penalty has kept A&M's offense on the field, and that's what you got to be frustrated with, is that not having the production in the red zone and then making bad mistakes at crucial points in the game.
This time, Robinson decides to keep the football. You look at the penalty situation, Southern with 6 for 65 yards, and Alabama A&M with 10 penalties for 83. Making the stop right there was Kendrick Paul after Robinson picked up about 3 yards, so to make it 2nd down and 7. High formation. Robinson gives it to the deep back. Good job defensively for Southern. That was Gideon with the carry. Herman Hartman came up from his safety position, along with Jabari Green in the middle, the big linebacker who's been active. Also Perry Davis among those in the pile.
And this is exactly what Southern came into this ball game expecting to do, is putting 8 men inside the box and stopping the run and forcing that young quarterback Johnny Keith to beat him with his arm. And Keith got it done on a few big plays here and there, but for the most part, A&M has been consistent with their offense, and right now they're doing the same thing. They're starting to run the ball again fairly well, but Southern has played tough between the tackles.
Taking a lot of time off that clock on this drive. Again, Gideon outside. Gideon throws a little stiff arm at Hartman, but he's close to another 1st down.
And these are good backs, Gideon and Bonds, and these are the guys you want, holding on to the football at this point in the ball game. And nice pressure. He takes it all the way to his option key and gets the ball out there for Gideon. Now Gideon has to stay in bounds and keep that clock running. Go inside and take Hartman on one-on-one. Keep that clock moving.
And he stops it with 7:36 as you get a good look at the leading rusher in the SWAC. And Jeremiah Bonds, the transfer from Memphis, number 36, who's coming to the game, also been solid. Gideon averages just under 5 yards a carry. Bonds averages about 4.5, and there he is on the run. Actually, that's the fullback. They have been giving it to the deep back so much that they forgot about Jonathan Rowland, and he rolls down inside the 10-yard line.
You're exactly right. They've been going to the deeper guy, and this time it's just a quick hit up the middle. He gets couple nice blocks in there from his offensive line. And once he got into the secondary, because Southern has been playing everybody towards the line of scrimmage, that allowed him to get into the secondary quick. Once he got there, there was plenty of room to run.
He picked up 25 big yards on that play. Rowland had a big carry in the first half up the middle, and then caught the first touchdown pass of the ball game. Again, another long drive for A&M. They hadn't had one all game or all second half. Time now for today's fantastic move of the game, brought to you by Singular Wireless, introducing Singular Rollover. They're your minutes. Keep them. And thanks to Darrell Weekly, Alabama A&M provides us with our fantastic move of the game. Brought to you by Singular One, a big-time catch right there for 30 yards. He and his Bulldogs lead this one 20-9. We're going to wrap this game up when we get back.
Generation after generation, it's good to have someone you can depend on.
Well, there's a future quarterback. I guess for A&M, he's representing his colors well.
And they're playing all the young ones today, so he may get a shot.
He might be just as old as these freshmen. Oh, the inside handoff again to the fullback, and Rowland takes it down to the 2-yard line. Make that. Eddie Green makes the stop as we continue to bring you Black College football, thanks to Southwest Airlines right here on BET. And this game kind of has slowed down a little bit when you think about it.
Boy, both teams have done it. Look at this nice 10-play, 78-yard 4:44 of a drive. I mean, both teams have sustained long drives in this happening. They've done it on the ground. It hasn't been really exciting, but it's been good, solid, hard-nosed football.
And this time they give it to the tailback, Jeremiah Barnes, and he's met by a host of Jaguar players at the 1-yard line. Going to be shy of a touchdown as we come down to 6.5. Let's hear it from Anthony Jones.
Power, right.
You know, Jones played at Wichita State for one of the great coaches in black college football of all time, Willie Jeffries. And Jeffries, of course, at South Carolina State after that and brought Anthony there as an assistant where he cut his teeth. Great mentor. This time, Robinson tries to keep it on 3rd and goal, and I don't think he got in. And now, what is Jones thinking? Do you just settle for the good points? The solid points, the 3 points?
Well, I think, you know,
it puts you up by 14.
You put you up by 14, and you want to get your kicker with some confidence back on the field. But
okay, all right, now
I think he's going to go for
what we got. All right, power out right 20.
Oh, he's going for it.
Power I right 20. 20 probably means that it's going to go to his fullback, Roland. So it's probably just going to be Roland going right up the middle.
And look where the football is. It is a hair away from the goal line. So let's see if Southern pins their ears. Oh, and the quarterback keeps it. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Tim Robinson, who did a good job on this drive, bringing the Bulldogs downfield and getting 6.
And it was an impressive drive by the young man to come in and just keep his composure and make sure he can keep the chains moving, keep the ball in bounds, learn to manage the clock, and get the pay dirt right here. Be careful you don't get a push in the back by your fullback there. Wallace almost gave him a little push in the back. You got to be careful about that.
But you can see from that shot right there how the offensive line got down lower than that defensive line. That's the key to goal line football, from what I understand. Getting lower than your opponent. Alabama A&M got lower and raised the score.
Is coverage you can count on.
This portion of today's game is brought to you by Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. Red Fusion, who's your soda?
3:14 left in the football game. George Johnson along with Don McPherson and our BET crew bringing you black college football by Southwest Airlines, and Southern in desperate need of points, and their All-American candidate Michael Hayes just drops the football.
Well, he had the linebacker Mobley underneath him, may have gotten a hand on the football, but I am impressed with this A&M defense, and they've been tough against the run, but they've also shown these linebackers, Ware and Mobley and Garrett, have shown that they can buzz out and get good coverage in the secondary.
3:07 left. This time Sharp going to keep it. Sharp finally knocked down by John Garrett, the linebacker, as he gets inside the 20. That'll be enough for a first down.
You see who the first man was to make the hit, and that was Mathis coming from behind.
He has been outstanding.
Oh, Anthony Jones talked about his motor and how fast his motor runs, and he plays a full 60-minute game. He's an intense kid, and he's showing that he can do it all over the field.
So here we are now, 1st and 10. They get it out to Michael Hayes. Hayes makes the catch, then gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 2:43 left here in the football game. As they now approach the 10th play of this drive, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can punch it in here. If for anything, to give them some confidence that they can score in the red zone.
Exactly.
Sharp to Jobert. Jobert spins and maybe would have been advised to get out of bounds and stop the clock. He's close to the end zone, and now a little pushing and shoving. And you got to be careful there because here comes another flag, and if it's against Southern.
And there's that back judge again. He came back from all the way in the back of the end zone to throw a flag.
That's Martell Holt, the junior from Huntsville, Alabama. And yet, when you think about all that has gone on, the one guy who has probably made the biggest impact in this football game is that man right there, Robert Mathis, the senior from Atlanta, Georgia, playing with turf toe in this one. And today's player of the game is brought to you by Red Fusion from Dr. Pepper. Red Fusion, who's your soda? 5 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble.
And this play right here, I think, turned this game around and really shut the door on Southern right before the half. The big turnover. He's just, again, relentless and gets the big turnover, like led to the touchdown by Washington. And the thing about Mathis, you see with 4 sacks, that brings his total
to 12.
To 12 on the year. And again, the forced fumbles. Now he leads the conference also in forced fumbles and ups his number to 6 forced fumbles. And Holt took one of those back for a touchdown earlier in this year, and now Washington does. So he's been responsible for not only shutting down the other offense, but also putting points on the board for his defense.
We talked about it at the top of the show that if you love to play defense, this is the place to come because the Bulldogs pride themselves on their ability to stop their opponent. So another big-time defensive play, and this time Trevorius Nunn makes the interception, his first of the season, and that brings to halt any hope Southern had of trying to get some points and get back in this football game with 2:16 left.
When you get inside the red zone, linebackers can only drop and will only drop so deep. This time, Nunn just sits at what we call linebacker depth. He doesn't have to drop at all, and the quarterback, Sharp, needs to know that the receiver has to either he has to throw it before he gets the linebacker depth or when he clears linebacker depth. And that time, Nunn just sat on the route, didn't have to do much, and Sharp threw the ball right to him.
Again, Nunn is a former fullback. Played that play offensively with good hands, showed the ability. And this is a kid we talked about that knocked out Lionel Macklin for the starting linebacker spot. And we say, well, why don't they put Macklin on the outside? He said, Macklin is simply a middle linebacker. He just can't get the time he wants with Nunn there. And the folks here for Alabama A&M are pleased. They felt that a victory today would be of huge significance against a team that has ruled the SWAC over the years in Southern. And this win meant a lot to them.
And you heard him say it over and over. You know, you're exactly right. This is a win over Southern. This is a win in the Circle City Classic. This is a big win for this program and for Anthony Jones. And they did it in nice fashion. They did it by coming in and doing all the things they wanted to do with their freshman quarterback. And they can be very proud and confident that they have a good chance to push the rest of the SWAC right now.
Clock continues to roll. 1.5 minutes left in the football game. As they give it to the tailback, who spins for a couple of yards. We'll be back in a sec. Welcome back. 1:20 left in this game. Robinson still at quarterback for Alabama A&M. He engineered a drive that pretty much secured the victory for A&M. But how about the rookie who started this thing, the freshman, Johnny Keith? 8 of 20 for 136 yards. He had 2 touchdown passes, had 2 interceptions.
And showed a lot of poise during the ball game of managing his mistakes and understanding that when he made mistakes, he just has to keep his poise and the team will come back and the defense will give him some opportunities, and really did a good job of managing the game. And again, he's just a freshman. He's going to learn a lot as he goes through this season and showed that he can mature, he can take the mistakes and keep on playing.
A&M is going to punt the football. Sent over the head of Kyler, who does well to just kick that thing out of the end zone, and they'll give up 2 points in that instance. Look at Anthony Jones.
You know, he's talking to himself right now. He's saying that to those guys. He's saying to himself, listen, we got the game now. It's 27-11. Don't hurt anybody.
He was talking to himself.
The Baltimore native who played with the Washington Redskins and won that Super Bowl back in 1984 with the Skins. And was at Morehouse before he got here, and he's in his first season here at Alabama A&M. He's going to go to 3-2 with the victory today, and you got a big old smile on you. You got to feel happy for this guy.
I'm just reflecting on talking to him yesterday, because you talk to coaches, and sometimes they don't want to tell you anything, and they're kind of tough. I was a little scared of this guy. He has a really stern presence, a really authoritative presence about him, and yet, once he started talking, he was engaging, and he gave us good information, good stuff, and you can tell he really loves the game of football, and he loves developing young men into football players, into men. And whoa!
And what a beautiful shot
let's
there.
See if he smiles now.
They got him. They got the win for him. They got the win for him. Again, he told us, he says, man, I am just blessed. I just feel like, things are great for me, and I just want to come in and do a good job. And this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Still coaching, they get him.
And again, I think that shot right there emphasizes again how important it was to beat Southern. His team knew that coach wanted to get this win.
And for a first-year coach to get a water douse 5 games into the season, that's an indication of how much these players respect him, and like him as a coach, and that's a really important sign.
So Anthony Jones and Alabama A&M now start to set their sights on Tennessee State. So here's the return for Southern by Landry. Landry doing the best he can. But when those Bulldogs start surrounding you, start to barking and biting and doing what they can, there's not much you can do.
We talked about it earlier, whether or not it was a bottle cap or a stone or a rock, and that was street ball right there. Just trying to make something happen.
So next up now for Alabama A&M, Tennessee State. Again, next up for Southern is homecoming as Mississippi Valley State comes to town. And boy, the pressure. I mean, down there at Southern, the pressure on this man right here, Pete Richardson, the wind. There are not many programs in black college football where the fans and the passion, that they have down there at Southern. And that's not to sell any other program short. I'm not trying to do that. But the Jaguar Nation, they will travel with this team. They want to know how Southern is doing. And I would assume he's going to start to feel the heat as he drops to 1-5 and 1-2 in conference play. Sharp still on his feet, going to throw the football downfield. Looking for Hayes. And with that, the clock is at 0-0, and Alabama A&M wins this one 27-11. That your final here on BET.
Today's Black College Football game has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares.
So once again, Pete Richardson and Southern lose to Alabama A&M 27-11. And right now the Bulldogs in first place in the SWAC. We'll have more football coming your way in a couple of weeks as we bring you this Alabama A&M team taking on Alabama State. See ya.
Y'all looking mighty good, looking mighty good. Well, I moved to LA 4 years ago to be a gold